think, yep, those sound levels are doing things.
You can go to the main ticker now.
Can you say that on TV?
Alright, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hola.
Hey.
Hi.
We're here with another movie debate. We got Colin, we got Jim, and we got Chris.
Jim.
Today's topics will be pitching a cartoon of pitching a movie of a beloved cartoon, best Keanu Reeves film, most edge of your seat movie, and the worst movie to break $1 billion. And then I got everything ready except a blind, so I will yet again find myself doing that mid debate. That's okay. Then we'll have the usual blind pitch, and then top two move on to a speed round. And so,
Me and Emily are here doing facts and social, so there's not going to be much of it. Just to let everybody know. Fact. That's the first fact that I have.
Without further ado, Colin, you picked the pitch a cartoon.
Pitch a live action. Yes. All right. So, the live action movie you've been waiting for since you were 12, and soon to be what would probably be the best Keanu Reeves movie, as Samurai Jack hits theatrical release. Now, the synopsis of this movie takes place after the events of the Adult Swim sequel that we saw, but Aku survives, and instead of hurling open a portal in time and sending him into the future, Aku comes back to the past with the technology of the future. And he sets up an entire shogunate with generals of varying abilities, like crazy robots, fucking left and goddamn right. And the entire movie is Keanu Reeves without his sword for most of it, training again to be able to take on all of these fucking samurai shogun robots along with Aku without any kind of advanced technology from the future. He's having to use... This is pretty much Last fucking Samurai. I'm realizing it. But it's Samurai Jack with fucking robots. And it's going to be phenomenal. Aku keeps the same voice actor.
So I guess he'd be CG?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
No, Terry Crews is fucking Aku. My bad.
I did actually switch it to question one. I got it. Cool.
So, mine is based on a obscure space opera from the 90s called Exo Squad. Essentially, I would just give it to James Gunn. I would buy the property and just give it to James Gunn and let him do what he wants with it, so he can stop having to be under Disney. But essentially, it's just we've made these mech suits, which they call exosuits, and we've terraformed Mars and Venus. But then these gene spliced humans that we made for slave labor revolt, and we gotta fight them because I guess the slaves revolting is bad. So there's a lot of like
Pesky slaves.
Well, that's not exactly how it was presented in the cartoon, but when you read the synopsis, it could be kind of rewritten that way for a big budget action space opera deal. Also, there are space pirates. But yeah, essentially just buy it, give it to James Gunn to do what he wants with it, and just make sure Batista plays the dude with the mustache, because he was like the gruff squad leader guy. That's the only real casting I would do for it. Everyone else could be who the fuck ever. But yeah, that's pretty much the movie. Make another space opera with obscure 90s children's properties, because that's what people do.
Alright, Chris?
Right, for mine, I went with a cartoon that I really, really enjoy. I feel like not enough people have seen it. and it's a little cartoon called Over the Garden Wall. It's essentially about two half brothers who get lost in a mysterious forest. They're trying to find their way home, and they encounter a variety of just strange, fucking fantasy, weird, creepy, just bizarre things. If you've seen the show, you're pretty familiar with it. My pitch for this movie is essentially it happens almost entirely as though the events of the show, because the show happens to be 10 episodes long, 11-minute episodes, so it's roughly the show itself is around the time of a feature-length film. It's pretty much you would expand upon a handful of elements, remove some of the... They're not really filler episodes because the show's not long enough to have filler, but there's episodes that are just more lighthearted, and instead of having those characters and these people they meet have like an entire chunk of the film dedicated to them, they're more of the background filling characters that just help build this environment. But essentially, it's directed by Tim Burton, and I forget the cinematographer guy, but it's the same cinematographer that did Big Fish. It's very, very much that Big Fish tone with the realism and the surreal fucking just fantasy element. Great music in this cartoon. Once again, it's Tim Burton, so who better to have the music done by than Danny Elfman. Could really help fucking same fucking songs really, but like kind of different, like same lyrically things, but just that Danny Elfman classic Tim Burton creepier spin on it. Because on the cartoon, the music's very 1950s, like you would expect to hear it on a phonograph. I feel like Danny Elfman could take that feel and kind of like put his spin on it as well. Casting wise, I went with for the two main characters are two brothers or two half brothers. The older brother is played by Finn Wolfhard. The character is roughly like entering like 9th grade ish or so, maybe 9th, 10th grade. And his younger brother Gregory is played by Ian Armitage, who is mostly known for, he's been in a lot of things, but he's mostly known as the child that plays Sheldon on Young Sheldon. I think he is the right kid body word, and I don't know. I guess I can talk more later. I didn't mean to go on forever.
Alright. Well, here's the problem. Can we go ahead and start?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the main problem with a live-action Over the Garden Wall rendition, like even with Tim Burton at the helm, you run into the problem of character scaling. Because there's fucking, like, frogs and rabbits and deer walking around on two legs at human height, and, like, I'm just imagining, like, all of that CG in this place, and it just sounds like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland all fucking over again, except, like, even more jarring.
I mean, you really only have the one scene of, like, the animals, like, walking, and that's the episode with the,
There's a few.
I mean, yeah, but, like, there's, like, the frogs on the boat, and then apart from that, it's the, where
There's
the
the
animals are going to school.
Animal Schoolhouse, yeah.
The schoolhouse thing is one of those filler episodes that's saying you would kind of push that in the background. Maybe have like a little raccoon that's wearing like the overalls
sorry if
in the
you're
background, kind of like watching them and following them as
I'm
they
just
go.
saying, if you're trying to make a fucking Over the Garden Wall movie and you're not going to do a full-scale potatoes and molasses montage, I am far from interested.
I think there's a lot that can be said for James Gunn directing what is essentially a Western mech anime adaptation. James Gunn mechs.
I just don't think, like, yours has any kind of recognition whatsoever.
Exactly. That's why you can do whatever the hell you want with it, because there's not going to be a billion, neckbeards coming out of the woodwork to scream about it.
Yeah, there would just be two and a bunch of strangers coming out to see what was essentially like... what was that terrible movie with Scarlett Johansson, that anime remake they did recently?
Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, they did a Ghost in the Shell. That's just what I'm imagining with yours, is just Ghost in the Shell all over again.
Well, it's not actually anime. It was Western made. But it's mech, and I think it would probably do pretty well, given a tidy budget and a big director.
I don't know.
You say a tiny budget or tidy?
A tidy budget.
I mean, the only real mech stuff we've had in, like, Western Hollywood has been fucking...
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Pacific
all I'm
Rim,
imagining
all
here.
the Pacific Rim knockoffs. There
Yeah.
was fucking Transformers. Essentially, they're fucking mechs.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
you want to acknowledge it or not.
Yeah,
They have driver's seats.
Yeah.
at least in one form.
You know, technically mothers are babies until they give birth. Fun fact. But
Transformers can't transform with their person.
But I don't know. With the Samurai Jack one, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh shit, that'd be kind of cool. And then you lost me with Keanu, to be honest.
that was just off the top of my head. But honestly, I feel like he would be able to do it well regardless.
That's where you bonked it up, man.
Robert
Because he's not
Pattinson.
Japanese. I get that.
It's never purely. Is it actually stated that he is Japanese?
He's
I
a
don't really
quarter
know.
Chinese, I believe.
Okay. But yeah, I would have at least went with some sort of Asian actor. I feel like either that or like in mine. You said that I thought Tony Jaa would be tight.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking great. Or
How old is Tony Jaa now?
old enough to play fucking old Jack.
True.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
like,
my first thought was like, fuck that. Jack doesn't say anything, so you don't need an actual actor.
Mhm.
Fucking
Jack
Keanu
says
Reeves.
shit.
Keanu Reeves like fucking having like
Samurai
that's half
Jack
your
talks
budget
all
right
the
there.
fucking time. What are you talking about? Especially in like the Adult Swim reboot that they did.
maybe, but either way, it's still like more known. The character's a fucking quiet type, so you cast some unknown fucking guy, and like just some real good fucking dope martial artist. He doesn't have to
Well,
fucking. say
forgive
shit
me
through
for
that.
not coming up with some unknown fucking guy for this.
Well,
what's
no,
going to
better
be
than
a
some unknown
blockbuster
guy. I'm
smash
going with Tony
hit.
Jaa, but like.
But fucking like the whole premise of the movie is like Aku comes back in this peacetime where Jack has had his guard down for years. He's already in his mid-40s, and steals the fucking sword, the one thing that can kill him, and locks it away and takes over all of what wasn't really called Japan, but pretty much Japan, and built an entire fucking
I'm
empire.
feeling what you're. Oh fuck! I don't have cigarettes. What am I looking for?
Creating an
If
early
I'm not cold,
industrial revolution in feudal era Japan.
I'm feeling what you're saying, but you're also giving me like Cartoon Network, like this is made for TV vibes. Is like what I'm getting.
Well, because you're thinking of a cartoon. This is all live action, my dude.
I know Cartoon Network could easily. I mean, like fucking
Cartoon Network doesn't do
Disney.
live action movies.
Disney recently did that fucking what is that shit? Fucking Kim Possible live action movie. And that
What?
shit-
When did that happen?
Yeah.
Like a hot minute ago. Like
Why aren't we watching
5
that?
minutes ago? Because it's hot trash.
Okay, but I want to watch that hot trash. What are you talking about?
They fuck up that movie, but that's not even what we're talking about. But it's what you're giving me. I feel that level of like
They should make a Totally Spies.
it's a live action TV special. Is what you're giving me, and not like a feature hard hitting film.
It would be a feature hard hitting film. This would be like
Well,
The Last
'cause
Samurai, but with
because
better-
Keanu, and we've already
a
had the
better
Last
story.
Samurai, man.
but it would be a better Last Samurai. Like straight up.
I'm just saying.
Well, have Aku and robots fucking
I'm just
feudal
saying.
era
Alright, so
industrial
you've actually
revolution.
seen fucking the Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
There's so much you could expand upon in that movie if you focused on more of that.
Right. I'm
Versus
just
it
saying.
just being 11 minutes at a fucking time.
I just feel
Like the
like,
entire thing
Tim
with the
Burton is
woodsman-
not the guy to trust with this.
Oh, Tim Burton definitely is.
No, not modern Tim Burton.
Oh no.
If you were to take like the idea of Over the Garden Wall and throw it at him in 1990, maybe. But right now, no. He
In 1990, he wasn't really like. Nah, this wouldn't be the property for them. But like Tim Burton, like now could handle this shit. He has the experience.
Of course he could handle it, just like he handled Alice in fucking Wonderland, dude. Like
Oof.
he would do it dirty. It would just be some sort of fucking edgy, borderline cringy bullshit, and then we'd have what would be like fucking live action frogs and fancy suits all over t-shirts at Hot Topic.
I don't think it would be like
steaming
fucking
CGI
live action
garbage.
like CG bullshit.
But it would be. It would
Yeah,
all
that
be
would
CG
Oh, I
bullshit.
didn't even mention like the rest of my fucking cast. Fucking J.K. Simmons as the woodsman. That dude fucking.
I mean, I
definitely
could buy
one of my
that
favorite fucking character actors.
because that's a real person
Did you
playing a
put
real
him on
person.
he's not.
Yeah, most of the characters
He is-
in the movie that it focuses on, like the only actual CG that'll be done would be like the Beast, and that's more of like
And the animals that are everywhere.
somewhat, but they're never like the focus of the thing outside of Beatrice, who's like one CG bird, and you could do a fucking realistic CG bird.
Corey.
Fuck, I mean,
Be
we
fucking
do realistic
constant.
CG shit all the goddamn time. The CG, like,
Yeah, how are we gonna like in a okay.
I mean, did you see Detective Pikachu? We could
Yeah,
do
yeah,
a
I
CG
saw it.
fucking raccoon in
Oh.
fucking overalls that looks like a goddamn raccoon.
It was
Fucking
pretty
Rocket
jarring.
Raccoon, like-
it was pretty jarring.
But
All I'm
Rocket's
saying,
not like. I'm saying the fucking CG shit's not gonna be an issue. It's gonna look fucking.
I'm
beautiful. It's
saying with
2019.
the people that like, with the movies that Tim Burton puts out, I'm not seeing anything of Rocket Raccoon quality in that, like in the least. Like, this it's fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the woods. That's what it's gonna be.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had a fucking great production budget. Like
It did.
the only
It
reason why
still
people talk shit on the
sucked.
way that movie looks is due to like comparisons to the original. But the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory fucking rules. Tim Burton's movies typically suck due to Johnny Depp and the same cast that he uses repeatedly. I didn't
Yeah.
cast any of those fucking people in the movie, so stop comparing it to like some fucking Johnny Depp bullshit.
Who's playing the Beast?
Who's playing the Beast? Fucking Tom Waits.
Okay. All right. I guess.
Fair enough.
But are they ever gonna actually show the Beast, or is it just gonna be some sort of shadowy bullshit in the background like the whole show?
I mean, I could give that away, really, but like, there's certain things like I have a 3-page treatment. I'm just trying not to fucking read the shit because I know certain people in
Copyright
this
pending,
room
people.
haven't seen it, and it's a great fucking show, and I don't want to like
concept.
throw
It's
out
been-
everything
it's
in the show.
Been out for years. There's no real spoilers.
I mean, there's not, but like personally, like
It's something I watch
I-
every
actually, I'm not even
October
gonna talk about
along
that
with
'cause
Charlie Brown.
like it's fucking great. Like, and I don't want to just be like, here's the ending of the movie, but like, yeah,
What's the
it
ending
could
of the
show.
movie?
Like, you almost got me.
Oh, are you gonna do the pumpkin scene?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna have to play the big pumpkin guy?
The
Anyway,
guy?
Samurai Jack.
You mean Enoch? Enoch is played by George Clooney.
Alright.
Hooray.
That's fucking weird.
Nah, George Clooney's got that fucking smooth voice. So does Enoch. He's like a fucking cult leader, but he's like a fucking pumpkin deity who actually you find out at the end isn't, but you find out all the pumpkin people aren't really. That's. You're gonna make me bust out the treatment and just read that shit because that's like
Alright.
that's like
Before it
15
comes
minutes
to that,
into the
I'm
movie.
just saying-
Roll this into your closing.
Like I got
I'm
the Enoch
just
shit
saying,
wrong.
like, with my movie, you're going to have, like, a fucking redemption story. Because, okay, I don't care about spoilers. Something really bad happens at the end of the Samurai Jack reboot that fucking rips his life apart. Anyways, he's still dealing with PTSD from that, and he's learning how to be a fucking warrior again. He has to go through pretty much the montage he went through in the first episode of Samurai Jack. Learning how to use a spear again. Learning how to ride a horse. And all of these other tactics and, like, training that he got all around the world. Coming back to feudal era Japan, where there is currently an industrial revolution going on, run by a coup, and the fucking robots that he has running the shogunate all around. And he has to fight and tackle each and every prefecture until he's able to face Aku without his sword, and to beat him into submission long enough that he can secure the sword and destroy him. That's the fucking movie I would watch 10 times a day for a week, then give a little bit of a break, but watch it again a month later.
So James Gunn directing a space opera about neo-fascist soldiers in space fighting gene slaves, socialists, and space pirates. It's pretty great. It would be a great movie.
I actually do think that sounds like pretty
I haven't
bad.
been watching.
Oh, I forgot to say also Batista and a mustache. All right, that's it.
Fuck! Damn it!
Yeah, the only thing, like, based on just what you gave me, I could think of better, but that's due to the fact I've never seen your show, so I have no reference point for it, but I instantly thought of that fucking show, we were talking about it, like, a couple weeks ago.
Terraform Mars?
No, the fucking, Guy Fieri truck driver mech cartoon.
Oh, Megas XLR?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
What?
that
What?
shit would be fucking dope. Like that's like what I pictured during yours, but it's not because yours is based on like.
Cast Guy Fieri as a space pirate.
You mean cast him as himself? What are you talking about?
With
Leading the space pirates, yes.
with the fucking
He's going to take the Six Squad to
These
Flavor
space
Town.
nachos are fucking gangster.
with the Samurai Jack one, I feel like I don't know. You kind of went way super into your movie, so like I already know what your movie is. That makes me less interested in it. Mine, people, yeah, they know the ending because it's a complete fucking story, and I feel like that was the way to go. Fucking
Yeah, mine's a new story.
Pitch a complete fucking story that's told in this movie about these two brothers that, like, I don't know, there's so many elements to it. You've got that big brother, little brother fucking relationship in it. You've got them trekking through the woods completely in an unfamiliar fucking place. There's all these spooky, supernatural, fucking creepy things going on around them. These fucking great characters, they come to me, but like, at the end of it, or like really, it's just these two brothers, and like how one matures into like the ability to like take care of the other one, and but like really like it comes down to like I don't know, the movie almost like you think it's the big brother shit, but like really if you've seen Over the Garden Wall, you really know it's the younger brother that's the strong one. He's the one that like he's too young and naive to fall victim to the deeper thematic elements of the movie, which is depression and like growing up. Is essentially like what the fucking show is. It's like that's the beast is adulthood, and like all the bullshit that comes along with that, but like a creepy monster guy. And I don't know, it's got a banging cast, it's got like fucking dope music, it's got like just elements you're familiar with, but it's done in a way that I feel like would work, and I would watch the shit out of it. Not every day for like 10 weeks, but like, yeah.
Alright. Jim, I really want to watch your fucking cartoon. I feel like I didn't get enough. I feel like you relied a little heavy on Batista and a mustache.
Well, there's that, but also just like the general gist of like what the overall arcing plot of it was. It's just like they were these soldiers on Mars terraforming like Mars and Venus, and the people that they genetically enhanced to help them do that get uppity and riot or start a whole pirate thing, and then there's also actual space pirates that they fight in like the one-off episodes.
I mean, you definitely sold me on the cartoon, and I will be watching it.
Did you never see that as a kid? I'm
No.
sorry. Was that like me and you were the only one that watched
Yeah.
Exo Squad?
Yeah.
The toys were the fucking coolest, but they were so expensive. My mom wouldn't even buy them.
Yeah.
Because they were like this big. He had like a dude inside a fucking mech thing, and they shot all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
They were super expensive. They were like
They were
"No,
like
you're
the
just gonna
super
lose
dope
all that
G.I.
shit."
Joe toys.
Yeah, it was exactly like G.I. Joe, basically, but cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I got the nostalgia from even hearing up that word. I forgot about that show. Shit kind of sucked though.
Colin, I don't
Toys were
feel
awesome.
like Keanu Reeves was bad casting. I know they tried to ding you a little bit on that, but I could see him playing Jack.
Fuck it, give him all the work he wants.
Yeah.
I
He,
did
It's
actually
great.
look up
Shit.
a
I give
fact.
Keanu the
Okay.
award.
Sorry about that. When you they were talking about Keanu Reeves and Tony Jaa.
yeah.
Tony Jaa was born in 1976.
Okay.
So he's only like 9 years older than most of us around here. Keanu was 1964. He's
like
quite a bit older
50,
than
70, yeah.
Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
What are you talking about? He was born in the 1700s. He's a
Probably.
vampire.
You're a vampire.
That was the only fact that I had.
I feel like with Chris's, it
Thank you.
his way of putting it together as a movie sold me a little more than a Jack movie.
That's fine.
I would watch both of these, all three of these, if they ever got made. But if I were to, like, if I had all the power of Hollywood, I had to greenlight one, it would be Chris's.
Okay.
I really didn't want to go too much into it because I know you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall, and like you need to watch that shit.
I have no idea what it is.
I feel like it's one of those shows that like there's so much I didn't want to go into with the story that like I feel like when you saw that, because it's real fucking, it's about the length of a fucking movie. You're like, oh shit, that's like, you don't see it coming from like fucking 2004 fucking Cartoon
Put your
Network.
poster back up again. I mean,
Oh, and I just wanted to clarify. I didn't pitch Keanu Reeves to pander. I actually looked up a couple of Samurai Jack live action fan casts, and Keanu Reeves is at the top of everyone's fucking list.
He's breathtaking.
Score.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get.
I'm still yet to watch John Wick 3.
Do you want to use
It's
the
really
mouse?
good.
Still yet to watch a
You
single
can
John Wick
use the
movie.
mouse.
What?
If
Yeah.
that's easier
Oh,
for
dude.
you.
The first two are great.
Yeah, of course.
First one especially.
Of course.
There's a mouse right
I
there.
know, I'm working on it. There's a mouse.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a score.
It's crawling on your hat.
That's not the score. No matter how many times you click on it, it will still not be the score.
What if you clicked on it again? But what if you clicked on it again?
Technical difficulties, y'all.
I haven't got it yet. Give me a fucking second. Jesus Christ.
Cue the music.
Did I get the score?
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I know how to do it. Just stop yelling at me all the time. Like shit. I can only do one thing at once.
Okay.
Alright.
Next question.
Yeah.
Best Keanu Reeves film.
So I went with River's Edge, which was a 1980, I want to say 89 movie.
I think it was 87.
87? Yeah, I knew it was somewhere in like the mid-late 80s. But it has Keanu Reeves, of course, Crispin Glover, a few other who's who actors in the 80s, and Dennis Hopper. And I love me some Dennis Hopper, but we'll get back to that. So essentially, there's one large lad in the movie, and he kills the person. And Keanu Reeves is like the aloof good guy high schooler, and like this core group of friends know about it, and it's all this teenage drama surrounding all of it. And then one of them is friends with like, I don't know, like a Vietnam veteran played by Dennis Hopper. And Dennis Hopper's character lives with a blow-up doll and is just like way out there as a person and a character. It's definitely like a high point in like mid-80s hopped up Dennis Hopper. But yeah, I mean, overall it's a very good story. Very well acted by everyone, including Keanu. But the movie's more than Keanu itself. It's just like a really good ensemble movie.
Alright, Chris?
I do want to start this out by saying, like, if you haven't seen River's Edge, it is a fucking great movie. It was on Hulu until, like, not too long ago.
Was that?
I watched
was
it
that-
on
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
Is it still on Prime?
Yeah.
I'd like to watch that, because when it was on Hulu, I added it to my list, and then I was going through my list, and it got removed before I got to it.
What is it?
River's Edge.
The movie I chose, I went with Scanner Darkly. I think A Scanner Darkly is a great fucking movie. It's based on one of my favorite books. It's got a great fucking cast, really. And if you're unfamiliar with Scanner Darkly, it's just this fucking story about like futuristic kind of version of the US, but not really futuristic. It's very like now, but turned the fuck up with like just constant police surveillance, and 20% of the US population is addicted to one drug. It's a pretty much the story is Keanu Reeves plays an undercover cop who, during his undercover copness, starts ingesting this drug that one of the side effects is that it essentially splits your personality in half, or splits like the hemispheres of your brain. They start working independently, and the movie's just this weird, heady, fucking experience of watching this guy kind of go into this weird madness. It's essentially Keanu Reeves playing two characters. Almost three in a way, but it's more two. He plays as Bob, this drug addict, and Fred, who is the undercover. He's not even I guess he is an undercover cop. If you're just a cop in general, but your job is undercover shit. All the cops in the movies, they're all kind of essentially undercover cops in a way because they wear these scramble suits that constantly shift their identity, so no one knows who the other cops are. You just kind of show up at work. You don't know what your coworkers look like or anything like that to protect everybody's identity. It's a super fucking deep story of like personal dualities, but also like this really bitter story of manipulation. And I don't know how many people in the room have seen it to go super in depth with it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
I've seen it.
I haven't actually, but it's okay. Spoiler proof, I drink a lot of wine, so I won't remember. It's fine. I'll watch that movie eventually. I've been saying that for 10 years.
Well, I don't need to explain my movie because it's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and everyone's seen it because it's the best.
What's it about?
Well, it's about Bill S. Preston and Theodore Logan. Esquire, my bad. Bill S. Preston, Esquire,
Show some respect.
Theodore Logan, who are a struggling
I'm sorry,
rock
time out though.
band.
You said, what was your movie?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay. I didn't hear the second half of it. I just heard Bill and Ted, and I just wanted to.
But
Make
everyone,
sure it's not Bogus Journey.
but everyone's seen this movie. Like, it's a fucking classic. But yeah, the whole premise is they're a struggling rock band, Wild Stallions, and also, fucking Christ, Ted is struggling in school. Yes. Yes, he's struggling horribly in school, so his dad's about to send him to military school, so he's going to be separated from his best friend in his entire social life. So they need to find a way to come up with the best history report ever to bring their grade up to a passing grade for a presentation. So they run into Rufus, who gives them a time-traveling phone booth, who takes them back in time to gather a bunch of old dudes to come and help give him a presentation on history. And it's excellent all the way through.
All right, that's a good synopsis, I guess. I think the strong point in my choice is that you're not there for the Keanu Reeves. It's before Keanu Reeves was, popular in anything.
So it wasn't his best movie.
I think it was probably what got him a lot of roles. It was a very good movie. It's very well acted by everyone in it.
You said it came out when?
1987.
I'm pretty sure it's 87.
So
Jack.
It is.
Okay, so it is a fucking great movie. I'll give you that. What comes to mind when I think that movie, because it's been a hot minute since I've seen it. I wanted to rewatch it. Like I said, I didn't get to rewatch it on Hulu in time because I always forget I subscribed to Hulu.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Well, you
Actually,
get it with Spotify.
Yeah.
Which movie?
Yeah, Bill and
like-
Ted also came out in 89?
Probably got
In
three now.
February?
no, mine came out in 87.
87, okay.
Yeah.
But like, when I think of River's Edge, the first thing come to mind is fucking Crispin Glover and that fucking leather jacket.
Yeah.
And-
But Keanu Reeves doesn't have to be like the main attraction.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this
I'm
argument.
not even. Yeah, I'm not even.
Mine is
saying
just
it.
like overall as like just a really top notch, really good fucking movie. Like River's Edge all the way. It doesn't even have to have Keanu Reeves in it. I mean, just the rest of the cast even in it. But Keanu Reeves is pretty good, strong. If he's not the lead, he's one of many.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good movie. I feel similar vibes with Scanner Darkly. Like, yes, Keanu Reeves is the protagonist of the movie, but the rest of the cast and the characters they play specifically RDJ. RDJ steals that fucking movie. Like it. You're fascinated with the character of Bob/Fred because like that's what the movie is. But really, you want to know more about Barris. You're like, who's this fucking guy? Who's this wackadoo? And the movie gives you that taste of it because the movie more so than being just a police
That was
fucking movie.
early comeback movie for RDJ too,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, it is. But like, it's really how well the story portrays like just addiction and addiction's tolls on like an entire society and an entire like the way the U.S. deals with that. And it's so fucking great. Like it's everything about that movie.
Yeah.
It's
You see-
it's such a good fucking movie.
I'll admit I haven't seen either of your movies, and they both sound like cool movies. But my movie is what put fucking Keanu Reeves' face on every television in fucking America for the most part.
Actually, what put Keanu Reeves' face on every television in America was the Coca-Cola commercial he did.
Well, they didn't have a choice in that.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying
I'm
they
just
chose.
saying, if
They
you're gonna
chose
make
to
a
see Bill
statement, make
and
a
Ted by
correct statement.
choice. It was
I
by
mean,
choice.
River's Edge had a pretty strong cable run.
No, it's not as
It was
fucking
on everyone's face
groundbreaking
on
as
TV
fucking
as well.
Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
I
isn't
think
just a
Bill-
cult classic. It's a literal 80s classic
Mhm.
that's up there right along the lines of fucking Back to the Future.
Mm.
You say those words.
I love both those movies, and I think you're skirting a thin line there. One of those
Yeah.
movies is a lot better than the other.
One of these movies is a lot less dated, even though it includes a fucking DeLorean.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's in the same category of must-watch 80s classics.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a good movie, but most people don't even recognize the satirical elements of the movie, or not
Right.
even satirical, the parody elements of the movie.
You don't have to. It's just a good movie to watch because it's funny and great.
It's a goofy movie.
Yeah.
It's-
By the
Oh,
way, a Goofy movie. Another great movie. Also goofy and fun.
It's
There's a little too much Pauly Shore for my taste.
some of the jokes are a little, I don't know, just dated really. With like even River's Edge. I watched that movie. I have memories of that movie. That movie doesn't. It comes across like a period of time, but it doesn't come across as a dated story.
No, it's a classic teenagers in trouble movie, and I love it.
It's. It reminds me of like elements of Twin Peaks. Just
Yeah.
the girl and like everyone's like, who killed this girl?
Right.
It reminds me of that and what is that movie Spun, but like in the 80s.
I'm just saying,
Or not Spun, Brick.
Bill and
Yeah.
Ted's Excellent Adventure was the groundbreaking succce that put Keanu Reeves on the map.
I think
I think
River's
the
Edge is
groundbreaking
what...
success that put Keanu Reeves on the map was actually The Matrix
Mm.
or Speed.
Speed, for sure.
I don't know. I feel like that was like the main driving force. Like that was the pilot light at day fucking one. I mean, I know
Well,
it wasn't his first movie.
here's
I'm
the
saying
thing.
this was
I
the
think
pilot light
Keanu
that started
Reeves'
the
pure
flame that was
talent
Keanu
and-
Reeves.
Well, here's the thing.
Charisma.
Keanu Reeves has had some peaks and valleys in his career. Okay, so he started off pretty strong. River's Edge is pretty much the first earliest movie I could think of that he was in. And then shortly after that was Bill and Ted, which was a big peak. Then he didn't do anything for a few years. Then he did Speed in 94, 95?
Hey, don't forget Babes in Toyland.
He didn't do anything for a while. Was he in he was in Interview with the Vampire, wasn't he? No.
No.
No,
No.
he's in Bram Stoker.
He was in Dracula. Yeah, let's forget that. That was a valley.
Yeah, that British accent.
Oof.
Um,
But yeah, like a lot of peaks and valleys. I'd say like Matrix and Bill and Ted were definitely high points. Speed was a high point. John Wick's a big high point.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I'd never even heard of River's Edge until it came out of your mouth a few minutes ago.
River's Edge is a great
Haven't seen it.
classic teenagers in trouble movie.
I'm sure it is.
Definitely.
I've just
It's
never.
just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not the best.
I'm
telling
not
you.
saying that. I'm just saying like, I mean, I've never even read about it, and anything Keanu related, like
I believe it's based
How
on a
much
young adult
research
novel.
did you do on Keanu Reeves before, like?
a
This question.
grand total of 0, like all my
Okay,
debates,
well then,
eat a dick.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna like read about it if you're not reading about Keanu?
I mean, how many of y'all's movies has Dennis Hopper being crazy Dennis Hopper with a blow up doll? Real question.
I mean, mine doesn't, but I got crazy RDJ being crazy and freaking out about a government
All right,
conspiracy with
all right.
fucking bike gears.
Real talk.
Which is like
Who
such
would
a great
win?
fucking
Who would win in a fist fight between crazy RDJ and crazy Dennis Hopper? If
When-
they had a
what
full
time
on,
period?
This is a different
At
debate
their
for a
craziest?
different
both of
time.
them,
Who
both
has the
of
better
them,
suit?
both
Are we
of
going
them
at their
at,
peak crazy?
yeah, both of them at peak crazy. Who would win in a crazy fight?
I'm just saying my movie had
Probably
George Carlin
Dennis Hopper,
in
to
it,
be
and
honest.
that kind of just makes it that much stronger.
What's that?
My movie had George Carlin in it though.
Mm. He didn't have a peak crazy time. He's always been a pretty level dude.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I feel like this has gone off the rails. So
Okay.
Alright, so my movie, it fucking happened to... The supporting cast mostly is... Because there's not a lot of characters in my movie. It's Keanu Reeves playing essentially 2 roles, and then his drug user buddies. And then a couple cops he works with, but you never see and get to know those people except for one. That's towards the end of the movie. But like nobody knows, they're just faceless fucking officers. It's the point of like the government at that point is to be entirely faceless.
go ahead and roll this into your closing.
Okay. So but like for the supporting cast of the drug users, it happened to cast some of Hollywood's most notorious drug users, being Winona Ryder, fucking Woody Harrelson, and Robert Downey Jr. Like who better to play that? Like they've lived that life. They know those fucking roles. It's just a fucking great story about identity and deception, and like really, the movie could just be this fucking drug-fueled fucking movie of like, I'm a cop investigating myself, because that's essentially the assignment he's given is he's this undercover cop, so he has this double life as a drug user, and one day they're like, investigate this guy, because none of the cops know each other. He ends up investigating himself, and in this drug that splits the hemispheres of your brain in half, and he loses touch of himself. And like, it just fucking, it's so goddamn good. But like, apart from like, it could just be that, but it gets into this deeper manipulation level of once you fully understand what they do to his character in this. They purposely design him and assign him this job to fucking go batshit insane, lose himself, and entirely become this fucking cog in this puzzle to shut down this fucking drug organization, but that they already have information on because they set up the initial fucking thing. Like, they purposely fuck up his brain so he goes fucking crazy to investigate this rehab place that is producing the drug, but they already know this shit, and it's just like, the entire movie he's getting fucked up with Winona Ryder, who is so manipulative in the movie, and it's so subtle. If you go back and watch it and look for it, her character the entire movie is like, don't touch me, but she often touches everybody else, but it's always on her terms. She happens to be his fucking police chief, and you just see this, it's this fucking great story, and like, he's essentially in love with her. I don't know, man, it's just, I think it's one of the most underrated Keanu Reeves movies, or movies that Keanu Reeves is in. It's a great science fiction movie, and it's the most fucking accurate adaptation of a Philip K. Dick fucking property, and so many great Philip K. Dick properties have been adapted into film. Fucking Minority Report, fucking Blade Runner, etc. Like, it's Total Recall. Like, but this is the best that is like adapting that source material, and they do it in such a great way. I also forgot to mention the rotoscoping. The rotoscoping is highly fucking great. The art style of the movie, it fits very well within the whole, like, setting up this surrealness of the movie, because it's about these drug users and their overall insanity, because all the characters are fucking crazy in some level. But it helps illustrate like their hallucinations and their paranoia. But as the main character loses his life, you get so adjusted to how absurd everything else is that it just falls into line, and it just helps illustrate like the insanity of the character. And I don't know, it's a good movie.
Are you calling?
Well, unlike their two picks, mine's a Keanu Reeves movie and not a movie that Keanu Reeves happened to be in. And also, my movie has fucking classic memorable antics by characters you remember from fucking history class, with fucking Genghis Khan going through a sports depot and wrecking shit, or Napoleon just being a goddamn jackass left and right at a fucking like water park. And also, they found a dude that looks exactly like Abraham Lincoln to play Abraham Lincoln, and that's just goddamn incredible. We have a great cast.
Abraham Lincoln was black, dude.
I know that. But it's just an all-around memorable classic movie. It's like everyone knows the name Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure like off the top of their head. Just about everyone has fucking seen that movie because it's funny. It's fucking hilarious, and even though it is very obviously in the 80s, that doesn't take away from it because you're watching it to watch an 80s movie that's satirical of itself to a point. It's just fucking great.
All right, Jim.
All right, so River's Edge is, I mean, it's not a cyberpunk dystopia movie after a long line of cyberpunk dystopia movies, and it's not a goofball popcorn movie. It is a serious movie with a serious plot, tackling themes like sociopathy and what secrets do to friendships and what Vietnam did to Dennis Hopper. And also Keanu Reeves was the principal lead on both of these movies. He was a co-star with Alex Winter on Bill and Ted. So Bill and Ted is not a Keanu Reeves movie. It's a Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter movie. But anywho, the movie is just a sum of its parts. You have Crispin Glover, who's chewing the scenery in the movie.
So good.
The other people whose names I forget because they kind of get lost in the 80s faces. And then Keanu Reeves is pretty much the principal lead of the movie. He's the guy, the focal point of the story. But yeah, it's really good, just teenagers in trouble drama. Like a after school special times 10. It's really good.
Okay. I had not seen River's Edge until you picked it, and I'd seen the other two, so I thought it was only fair to go watch it.
Mm.
Glad I did.
Oh, it's so good and good.
It's really good. With A Scanner Darkly, I do like the rotoscoping in it. It is a cool story. I haven't read the source material, but I'll take your word for it that it is the most faithful adaptation, because I know Blade Runner is far from it. It with A Scanner Darkly though, I feel like even with your take on it, Keanu Reeves kind of gets lost in the shuffle. You start focusing on RDJ and Winona Ryder and the co-stars. With Bill and Ted, it is him and Alex Winter, but it is, he's there the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun movie. You do have George Carlin. But I agree that it is kind of lost in time. Like, people who lived around that time can go watch it and appreciate it. I don't know how somebody just turning it on, like, born after 1999 would feel about it.
The only people I think that could appreciate it in that sense are like Doctor Who fans, because it's initially a parody on Doctor Who.
And River's Edge is, it's a great movie. I feel like you sold it well. You you started to focus a little too much on Dennis Hopper, but then you brought it back.
He's him and Crispin Glover both just eat the scenery in that movie. It's kind of hard not to.
I fucking love Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, it's hard not to focus on him for that movie.
Any movie, like Waterworld was terrible, but he was fucking great.
But
man.
yeah, I'm gonna give that point to Jim.
Yeah.
It did come down really close to Bill and Ted and River's Edge, but River's Edge just pushed it over in the closing.
There are some social things. I'm trying to put a point on for Jim, apparently, instead of Luke. You're going by Jim these days?
Yeah.
Okay, Jim.
Yes.
There's like one. Joe Crutcher said Ed, and Eddie, but every role is
Yeah.
played by Danny DeVito.
I'm just
Nice.
Oh, do we have a Facebook stream going too?
No.
No, this is
Yeah.
YouTube.
Do we have a Facebook stream going?
Not a
No.
stream.
Well,
So people
no,
are-
not a stream, but
I
it's
think we
shared
should
to
do
Facebook.
both.
I'm surprised. Like when you guys were talking about Keanu Reeves like breaking into the shit that he did, it was Point Break is what
Yeah.
he did.
There was-
Because he
yeah.
was a real surfer. I mean, motherfucker's from Hawaii.
Well, he's from Lebanon.
Well,
But
whatever. But he grew up in Hawaii. He was a surfer.
Point
and
Break wasn't until like 90, 91.
91,
It was-
but then he got
it was
into
right before
speed,
Speed.
and
Yeah.
then he that's where he got his.
I forgot about
footing
Point
was
Break.
Point Break.
Yeah, that's what got him up to speed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what got him into the
I mean,
Matrix and made him like a
We-
superstar.
We all know the best Keanu Reeves movie is going to be him as Samurai Jack in 2024.
It's John Wick. I don't know why nobody said John Wick, but
I mean, yeah,
the
that's
first one.
the best one.
Actually, yeah, that might be the best Keanu Reeves movie.
yeah.
Wait, didn't someone argue like John Wick for the trilogy debate?
Yeah.
I just feel like it would have been repetitive at that point
Well,
for our viewers.
Well, he
There-
didn't say much, so.
There have been like a bunch of John Wick debates actually.
It's a great
John
movie.
Wick's great. I don't care. Like,
I've just never seen it. I need to.
I have
None
the
of
first
them?
two. If you want to binge those sometime,
I'd be down.
The third
But-
one just came out pretty recently, didn't it?
yeah.
I need to get it.
We're going to. Well,
Question 3, which is Chris's
you're
pick.
starting to snow. Like you have a cold.
I do have a cold.
God damn it, Chris. I'm gonna get fucking sick being over here.
So, most edge of your seat movie.
That was a question I
Oh
chose.
God.
It was a hard choice. But it really, once I thought about it, it wasn't a hard choice. I chose Cool as Ice starring Vanilla. I chose Hard Candy starring Patrick Wilson and Ellen Page. It's a great fucking movie. It's just a thriller focusing on like pretty much a 14-year-old girl trapping and torturing this dude she suspects of pedophilia and more importantly like child murder. But like it's there's so much to this fucking film that like it's essentially a modern retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and it just the movie itself has this weird sense of the beginning of the movie where right from the bat the guy's a fucking creep, but like it's done in this way that provides this moral ambiguity to it that like builds tension throughout it. You're like, he's a fucking creep, but she's fucking freaking the fuck out for like to the viewer. There's no evidence or anything for her reasoning to anything, and it's just this tense fucking ride up until the very end where you find out all the facts of the movie, but it's over at that point. That's why I chose that movie.
Colin?
For best edge of your seat movie, I went with Jurassic Park because and I keep on picking ones that don't need a description. But anyways,
I've never seen it before. Is it good?
I mean it's great. Yeah, I mean like it gives you a calm build up. Hey, we made a fucking amusement park with real dinosaurs. It's incredible. Look, a brontosaurus.
and then shit goes wrong.
It was
Brachiosaurus. They called it Brontosaurus back then.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
They're
I did.
They're two different fucking dinosaurs. One of them has a spout on the top of its head, the other one does not.
Okay.
Actually, Brontosauruses might not have actually been real dinosaurs.
Okie dokie. Anyways, the Brontosaurus
Next week, real dumb dinosaurs
was walked. You see a CGI, fucking Brontosaurus, and it looks incredible. But they go into explaining the research behind it and like how they were able to take, I think DNA from like not fossilized, ambered mosquitoes, and they were able to take the blood from them to make eggs of fucking prehistoric dinosaurs. So that all seems really fucking cool. You got Jeff Goldblum there, and then shit goes fucking wild with the predators. You got fucking velociraptors in your rooms, opening doors, clever girl. And it just, they're being chased and fucking mauled alive by these fucking very realistic at the time dinosaurs, followed by a, still holds up to this day, incredible looking T-Rex. Like, first time watching that movie, whenever you're in the car with them, just peering out in the rain, then you see like this fucking T-Rex not notice you yet, leer its head down, and you see its eye, and this thing fucking chases you down a dirt road. It's I'm running out of breath. I'm sick. You're just fucking literally on the edge of your fucking seat the entire time because, like, well, Jeff Goldblum, your favorite character so far in his shirtless fucking glory, is about to get stomped to death. And, well, he doesn't. Spoilers. He doesn't. But throughout, like, a good, I'm going to say, 3/4 of that movie, it's just run. Fucking run. Oh, that person died. Keep fucking running. We need to hide. We need to get off of this fucking island. It's great. Jurassic Park.
Alright, Jim.
I chose Speed because I really like it when Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper get together.
They make beautiful babies.
But also, really though, the reason I chose it is because the movie's essentially a 90-minute chase scene. I'm sorry, 116-minute chase scene. And that's pretty great. It's got snappy dialogue. I believe it was, I think it was first drafted by Joss Whedon. I'm looking into that. But really solid cast. Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Daniels. And, it's, one of those first, like, thrill ride blockbusters where, the bus can't go under 50 miles an hour or it's going to explode because Dennis Hopper's crazy and he put a bomb on the bus and he's watching you. How's he watching you? And pop quiz, hot shot, and all of it. Love it. It's a great movie, good dialogue, well directed, big action sequence pretty much throughout because that's the nature of the movie. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 with rice.
As a little kid, I watched both Jurassic Park and Speed around the same time, and on God, a fucking island full of dinosaurs seems more realistic than the plot of Speed. And I love Speed, but just the whole entire fucking deal.
Speed is not my movie to argue, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that's completely not true. An island full of dinosaurs is way, way, way less likely to happen than a white terrorist.
But also, another thing that was really
a former
missing,
cop white terrorist, no less.
as far as edge of your seat goes with Speed, like,
I like that.
there, you can tell it's either going to be all or nothing based on the premise,
Mhm.
and you know that since it's a movie with a hero in it, everyone's going to live. In
Or
my
you can
movie,
just suspend your goddamn disbelief and go along for the thrill ride of the summer.
okay, all I'm saying is in my movie, the reason that you're on the edge of your seat is because you don't know everyone's going to make it to the end. People are getting picked off left
All
and
right.
right.
So at
But
first,
goddamn
though,
dinosaurs.
but they're both based on having to drop the suspension of disbelief here for to believe that there would be a car or a island full of dinosaurs,
Oh no, I'm
or
taking.
B that this could go badly, or this isn't going to go badly because the
Yeah,
smiling
I don't
hero
know
always
where
wins.
the edge of the seatness comes in with like Jurassic Park, really,
Because people are
you
getting
go
eaten
into it-
alive by
no,
dinosaurs.
You go into it knowing that, like, okay, an unknown by the trailer that dinosaurs going to break loose and shit's going to go fucking to hell. That's why I'm here, is for fucking dinosaurs fucking up shit.
Yeah.
You also
Oh,
know,
hell yeah!
You also know going into it who the fucking stars of that movie are. So, okay, they're not going to fucking die because they're the goddamn stars of it. They're not going to kill the fucking kids in the movie. So, okay, yeah, a bunch of background secondary characters die. Dude.
Yeah,
it's
but
not that edge of the seat.
we're not talking about the trailers here. This is about
No, I'm
going
talking
into the
about
movie
the goddamn
blind.
movie. Like, everything I just said was about that movie. And, like, the last time I watched that movie and was on the edge of my seat, I was 7 years old. And, like...
So there's like the whole constant conveyance of danger, like throughout Speed.
But there's just the one danger.
Yeah, it's a one constant 120-minute danger of your bus is either going to crash or blow up, or you're all going to die somehow unless Dennis Hopper figures out, or not Dennis Hopper, unless
He's the
Keanu
hero
Reeves. Keanu Reeves figures out how Dennis Hopper bugged the bus and bombed the bus.
Every fucking question
I'm just saying-
had Keanu Reeves as, in some form as one of the answers. Just don't
Yeah. I wasn't expecting
Oh no!
We all fell.
Everything.
Earthquake.
Is it back?
More or less.
Are we still here?
We are.
Try
I'll
not to
fix
drop
it.
me next
Put it-
time.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
fragile.
That was
Put
my
it
fault.
that way. Don't hand it to me.
I don't want to be on camera, he says.
No, I meant the laptop.
I'm not gonna.
But
Alright.
yeah, technical difficulties, y'all. Wine drunk, but
I was trying to get more wine, but now I can't. That's
You want me
why-
to do it for you?
But yeah,
I'm
as
just
far as Speed goes, Speed is a very intense, like you said, thrill ride blockbuster of a fucking movie.
well, right.
It
It's just
really was at the fucking time, but like,
it's just the pretense is like no one's going to die.
Well, the pretense is dinosaurs can't really exist on a fucking island.
You don't know that. This was a fresh fucking concept. All I'm saying is they went into that.
Oh, I'm just saying that.
Like here's this amazing place where we brought
you're
dinosaurs
saying
back
you have to
life.
have the suspension of disbelief that the hero might fuck it up
Yeah.
for my movie, and there's a huge giant leap of suspension of disbelief that
Oh,
so
dinosaurs have to exist on an island.
so with my
I think
movie,
they're
though,
pretty
with
equal
with
in
Hard
that- in
Candy
that
though,
regard.
there's this element that you go into it, and it starts with the awkward. The first thing you see.
I
in the
forgot
movie-
your movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it. But you've
What?
never seen my movie, so it's irrelevant.
What's it
I've
called?
seen it.
I just said the name of it. I'm sorry you weren't listening.
Hard candy.
Ooh, neither was the audience.
I didn't know where you were throwing that because I need a lighter as well. I've been like watching like so many lighters.
I mean, your girlfriend has cigarettes and a lighter, but
I'm sorry.
you blowing up other people for once.
But okay, so with like Hard Candy, you go into it, and the first thing you see is this fucking chat log of Lensman, what was it, 31 or 319, and Thong Girl 14, and they're having this spicy little flirtatious chat, and you're like, okay, what the fuck? But as you notice her typing her responses, you're like, oh. Thong Girl 14 might be fucking 14. Cut to the direct next scene of like her eating chocolate cake in this fucking coffee shop, and the way the dude introduces himself to her, she has fucking chocolate in her mouth. He wipes the chocolate off of her mouth and seductively kind of like licks it, and you go into the shit of like, oh fuck, bad things are gonna happen to that little girl, and it just builds this fucking tension of like, fuck. They sit, they're talking to each other. It's pretty fucking obvious that like they both know it's a bad idea, the meeting. Meanwhile, in between the two of them, as they're sitting in this booth, there's a fucking missing girls poster, just fucking hanging up, just foreshadowing all of the bad things you're assuming is going to happen to this girl. She fucking pretty much convinces him to take her home, and they get like to the fucking car, and then there's this fucking long drive fucking scene. It's not even actually that long. Maybe a 3-minute driving scene or whatever. Driving to his house, and it's just at this time you just get this overwhelming sense of fucking doom that like bad things are gonna fucking happen to this child, and the movie immediately flips that on its head, and you're watching this 14-year-old girl outsmart and out fucking manipulate this fucking adult man. Meanwhile, building to this like, holy shit, she's just fucking crazy though, because like the first thing she does is like fucking love him, then she starts like stripping her clothes off because he's a photographer and she wants him to take like photos of her. And the next thing you know, he wakes up because he passes out because he's drugged, and he's tied to a chair, and then she's like, you're a fucking child murderer, and starts torturing this guy. Apart from meeting this fucking child, there's nothing that leads you to that. And the rest of this fucking movie is you watching her just slowly unravel. She's fucking insanely smart. She has all this planned out, but subtle things go off of her plan, and she loses her fucking shit. And you watch her slowly unravel as her plan unravels, and you're just like, fuck, dude.
It sounds like if Kevin McAllister was a girl.
I mean, Home Alone is a more edge of your seat movie than Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I would say that's
low.
more of a squirmy movie. Like, I've seen Hard Candy. That's way more of a squirmy movie than an edge of the seat movie.
I mean,
for me.
you squirm up to the edge of your seat. It's
I
very.
squirm back,
There was no
squirm.
defining
I
parameters.
go like this. This is how I squirm. That's not edge of my seat. That's firmly in the seat.
No,
Please
because
don't hurt me,
there's so much
14-year-old girl.
fucking dialogue and tension that just builds in the movie that you're just like, what the fuck? Like, you're so sucked into what's going on, but you're also so uncomfortable, and all you want to do is look away. And for it to be like fucking the mashup of like vigilante and torture porn movie that it is, it's not a graphic fucking movie at all.
It kind of reminded me. Do you remember the movie Layer Cake?
I'm familiar with it, but I
It's just like the
vaguely
same
remember.
sort of like Hitchcockian ultra violence.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, except for that one's about a person with multiple personalities. It's a little different.
You see, Jurassic Park was such a great edge of your seat blockbuster success that it ended up spawning a hugely successful series, followed by years later a fucking reboot of the entire series with Jurassic World. Like,
Mine spawned a series that was a vehicle for Sandra Bullock.
yeah,
Pun
but,
intended.
yeah, but Speed 2 sucked.
That's why I said it was a vehicle for Sandra Bullock. That should let you know
That
it sucks.
that was the only vehicle that mattered in that movie.
But mine had the same director, I think, as Die Hard. And yeah, Die Hard on a Bus would pretty much sum it up pretty well too.
Die Hard on a Bus.
That sounds like the best B movie name. Die
Yeah.
Hard on a Bus.
It's also, this is also technically a Christmas movie.
That's also the next Die Hard movie. It's Die Hard on a Bus. They ran out of ideas.
I always knew I'd die hard. I didn't know I'd die hard on a bus.
My MTA card is about to expire. I'm too old for this.
These roads are icy.
Anybody have any aspirin?
Here's Smiley Pro.
That's not a quote.
It's for fucking Die Hard. He always asks for aspirin.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Bus Driver.
Well, with, like Hard
He's always
Candy,
hungover.
there's also the elements of the movie itself visually, the way it uses color to just heighten the tension, because like it uses pretty much like the three primary colors: really well throughout the movie. Yellow being the lesser, but not really. Yellow comes into the lighting with the sun, the way that the sun, because they film a movie not actually in a house. They have a house for the exterior shots, but like indoor shit, pretty sure it's a fucking studio lot somewhere. So the outdoor lighting and the sun you see in it is very purposeful, and like, but with it uses red to build this fucking tension when she's like walking through the hallways, running throughout his house, trying to find evidence that this guy is who she wants us, the viewer, to believe he is, to justify all these fucked up things she's doing to him. And with blue, everything kind of tints blue as she progressively loses her shit, but also when she snaps back from losing her shit and becomes this very calm, collective fucking person. The lighting and everything turns blue. And then, but like, when there's multiple times throughout it, because the entire movie is just her fucking with this dude. Everything she says to this dude is very calculated and purposeful. It snaps back into, in the far background, you'll see a window, and the sun will start to brighten up as she transfers back into this like cheery 14-year-old girl, seductive fucking person, and she just runs through this fucking cycle of fucking shit all throughout the fucking movie, and it's fucking great. It's definitely the vehicle that established Ellen Page as a great actor. Patrick Wilson does a fantastic job being this fucking creepy dude that, like, to a point where up until like the very end of the movie, it's very, you learn more about him and you're like, oh no, fuck that dude. Oh, she's crazy. That dude, she's going a little too far. Okay, he brings it back a little bit with like this, like, somehow making this character seem sympathetic, and then you learn more about him, and then it keeps edging back, but every time he's able, up until the very end of that movie, to bring some sort of like sympathy to this character that would otherwise be a completely one-dimensional fucking character.
Your movie just sounds icky.
Alright, Jim, closing.
My closing.
Oh, what's that, my closing? Okay.
He only has 10 more pages.
Speed. It's a 2-hour Hollywood chase scene. You know, good acting. Keanu Reeves, Jeff Daniels, Dennis Hopper, all three do really good roles in this movie. Sandra Bullock is there being Sandra Bullock. And yeah, really snappy dialogue. Like I said, Joss Whedon, he was actually a script doctor on it. It wasn't first draft. But, so, really good dialogue exchanges, really well directed. You know, the whole thing is essentially a car chase, except for like the first 15 minutes where they get into the bus situation, and then they're off and running for pretty much the whole movie until the final fight sequence between Keanu and Dennis Hopper. It's a good movie. Check it out.
Chris?
Alright, first off, I don't really know what else to say about Jurassic Park that I haven't said. It's a good movie. The practical effects in it hold up fantastically. It's a great example of early having an unreal element in an environment and having great lighting and shit like that. And the effects of the movie really ground the movie, but it's still, I wouldn't consider it to ever be an edge of my seat movie, because apart from like, oh, jump scare fucking dinosaur thing moment or some shit like that, like, it's just a thrill ride. It's just like a fun fucking movie to watch. There's no point where I feel any sense of dread for the main characters, as already mentioned, but myself personally, because I know dinosaurs are fucking extinct, and that's never going to be a fear I have. Whereas like in my movie, fucking child predators are fucking real. That's a real fucking thing. My movie is so grounded in this reality, but it is, as I mentioned earlier, a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and like, not the fucking Grimm brothers version, or like any of the original fucking story where Little Red Riding Hood, nobody came and saved her. She saved her fucking self, and that's what this movie is. But it's just this great fucking, the dialogue in it's fucking so good and holds you throughout the movie. And I was real worried earlier when he said Jim closing statement, because I was like, fuck, I hope that wasn't my closing statement, because I did not get to the 25-minute castration scene. this fucking.
Icky.
There's nothing more fucking tense than like the way they draw out this fucking scene and the way he fucking pleads. He pleads and he fucking begs, and he tries all these tactics because he himself is a predator. He makes it a way of life to know how to talk to and manipulate children, to try to like manipulate her out of doing this. There's multiple times throughout it where she's like plays into it and starts like she's like using he's using like things about her family that she's told him against her, and then she's like and starts like crying. He's like, it's like you're stupid, like I'm cutting off your balls, shut the fuck up, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna fucking do. There's a fucking great quote in the fucking movie. It's probably one of the best and most substantial lines of dialogue I've ever heard in any fucking movie. Just because a girl can imitate a woman does not mean she is ready to do what a woman does. Great fucking line of dialogue. But like the way the castration scene builds and builds and builds for her to like be like, all right, I'm done. I'm sweaty. I'm gonna go fucking hop in the shower. Dude's able to get out and the entirety of it. She never actually fucking castrated him. She's just fucking with this guy for no fucking for a reason that is her reason in the movie. But like, there's no reason to like psychologically torture him into thinking he's just been castrated through like numbing him for like a fucking hour and like all this fucking shit. But it's just part of her fucking weird fucking game to break this guy down to the point that like she could kill him, but she wants him to kill himself. And not only to kill himself but to like recognize and admit what he fucking did based on like the lack of evidence for what he did until the point of the movie that the movie does disclose the evidence, which is a photograph, particularly of a girl clothed, which is odd enough that justifies all this. But it happens to be the girl on the missing poster that it foreshadows at the beginning. It's just a fucking great fucking movie. Like, there's no way to watch it and not like if I hadn't just fucking told you about the fucking movie, if you're going that movie and just watch it, like I said, you start out and you're like terrible things are going to happen to her, and then it completely subverts it, and you start out and you're like, fuck yeah, little girl, fuck up this fucking creeper, and you're like, oh shit, little girl, you're going a little too fucking far, like just call the cops, just call the fucking cops. Dude gets out and you're like, dude, just call the fucking cops, just call the cops. Oh shit, he's not calling the cops, he must have did it. Like, the movie is so fucking tense, and it goes back and forth of this just moral fucking grayness that, like, you're like, who do I root for? Who is right in the situation?
Little girl killing the child murderer.
Yeah, but you don't know he actually murdered
Murderer.
any kids until
And
the
Scullier.
very last scene of the movie.
Alright, Colin?
Well, you know what kicks the shit out of any fucking child predator? Dinosaurs. And Jurassic Park, like, especially just watching it the first time in your entire life, not knowing the pretense of the movie, it is exactly like you said. It is a fun thrill ride all the way through, but your movie's more of just a psychological thriller, and I wouldn't consider Clockwork Orange a fucking edge of your seat movie.
It's not my closing, but who the fuck is arguing Clockwork Orange?
No one. I'm just saying,
Okay.
as far as
Then
psychological thrillers go.
focus on your movie, bro. That's what you're best at right now.
I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying,
Psychological thrillers wouldn't
you
really
might want
count in
to
my
build up Jurassic Park a little bit and not talk about movies we ain't talking about.
But yeah, no, Jurassic Park. It speaks for its fucking self. You from the midpoint, not earlier than the midpoint of the whole movie. You are constantly like you are running with these people. You are from their own perspective, worrying if they're about to fucking die. You get to see one dude just get ripped apart by a bunch of tiny raptors. Another dude gets stepped on by a T-Rex. All kinds of crazy shit happens whenever these predator dinosaurs make their way into the scene and start adapting and pretty much exceeding all their expectations and plans. Like, there are no rules in place. There is no feeling of safety throughout the whole movie. You don't know what's going to happen or who's going to die. And it's incredible. And you're on the edge of your fucking seat the entire goddamn time. Jurassic Park.
All right, this one's hard. You're so predictable.
Did you say that's what she said?
I am the living trope.
So, hey Chris, while you're up, if you're going that way, will you get some cups for the blind?
How big of a cup do you need?
No, he has Dixie
They're
cups.
on
in there.
Yeah, they're red.
Okay. I mean, I was going upstairs.
Or solo
Oh.
cups, I mean.
Never mind.
How many? 3?
4.
I would do it, but I'd fuck up the king rank.
Yeah, you
Five.
Just don't move it all for an hour.
I'm trying.
It's
Um,
really difficult.
So,
You said
speed
they
is
got me so-
pretty intense all the way through. I feel like you got dinged the most that you didn't like elaborate on why that didn't matter.
The last
If
number
that
I
makes
heard was
sense.
5.
Right.
Assuming that's
Like,
somebody wanted to help you or something.
With hard candy, it is intense. I just feel like nobody said anything about Jurassic Park. Like, sure, it has moments that are on the edge of your seat, but I mean, it's got levity sprinkled in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you have the little girl who's terrified of the dinosaurs sitting in the tree with Alan Grant, and she gets sneezed on by a brachiosaurus, not a brontosaurus, and she you know, but nobody said anything, so I'm only to assume from Colin's argument that that's not there.
Yeah.
So that it's just like you get dinosaurs, they're running wild, and it's just non-stop action. So I'm gonna give the point to Jurassic Park.
Woo! They were also not little raptors; they were Gallimimus.
No, it's Procompsognathus, and they're in
The
the second one.
Gallimimus were the ones that. Like,
Yeah, I didn't have a fucking thesaurus in front of me. Is that a dinosaur too?
I'm sorry that we
Mom's
grew up in a
dinosaur.
different generation where we played with dinosaur toys and you kids didn't
I think
ever
you're
get
just
to
saying
do
you
it.
should know your movie more.
Fucking Brachiosaurus.
I don't know what got the point.
Bitch, it took me till 6th grade to
Jurassic
stop
Park.
calling them long necks and
Really?
fucking three horns.
Yeah.
You're a son of a bitch.
Because nobody said anything about there being like levity. So all I got from the arguments was it's dinosaurs and then just dinosaurs.
Yeah,
And people running for their lives.
I probably could have also made it an
Yeah, but I said there's no
experiment.
tension with the people running for their lives because you know who's going to die and who's not.
Probably should have said something about
I mean-
all the damn exposition at the
shit,
beginning
I
of Jurassic
changed
Park.
things. I was
There's so
doing-
much exposition just to get that movie up and running.
Purposefully skip that part.
Yeah. There's a fucking slideshow.
There is a
Yes.
PowerPoint presentation and
Yeah.
what has been deemed the most edge of your seat movie, and nobody said anything about it.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh shit! Did I?
What are you doing wrong?
He's on
I put the
Pornhub now.
points. I'm on Pornhub. I'm trying to turn it back. Hang on. Hang on.
I
Look
didn't
at
know
my
you were
search
into that,
history.
Corey.
Time and
Pornhub?
place,
No,
Corey.
that-
No, dinosaurs up there.
Dinosaur
Look at that.
Dinosaur porn. It
Dinosaur
exists on
porn.
Pornhub.
There's
It
actually-
sure as all
Get
does.
on the
There's some really weird shit out there.
I know.
No, I mean like there's those dinosaur suits, like the T-Rex
Yeah.
suits. Oh yeah, there's lots of those.
Oh,
And this
no.
one's called We Fuck the Dinosaur Story.
Yeah. Seen it. You know, score. There it is. Got it.
And
I did it right. Everybody
In the
got a
family
point.
sitcom The Dino Horse.
That's a 1. Like your font's just weird. I didn't put a 7 in there. It's a
Yeah,
1.
the font is weird.
Okay, it's fine. All right, so we're going to question 4 though.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes,
No?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry.
What's the current score?
What is it?
Triple one.
Yeah, everybody's got 1 point.
It's the spoiler.
Right or left, Colin?
Left.
Wait, this is question 4?
Is it? This is
Huh?
question 4?
That's what I was. No,
Oh.
we haven't.
Interesting.
I thought this was after question 4. Sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Question 4 is this,
Yeah.
and that's what you're doing with this.
Yes.
Wait,
Okay,
let me
well,
make sure.
Okay, I was just making sure. I'll go ahead and put that up then.
Question 4. Worst movie to break $1 billion.
We have to use these.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused. You could at least give me
Dude,
a fucking heads up.
I wrote
Yeah, you wrote a book about it.
no, just I wrote down like my closing argument for this, but like
Did you write a book?
Uh,
'Cause I'd like to borrow it.
yeah, I didn't write a book on mine, but I've never watched the movie I ended up with.
So who goes first, and how long do we have to start?
You can go first. You have
So-
you have until I come back with coffee.
to what? Just
Think about.
Oh, okay.
the
I was
I
like,
don't
am
need
I
to-
just talking to thin air?
I don't need to think about it because
Yeah.
my movie sucks. But like,
Yeah. Why is your movie the worst? I got Age of fucking Extinction. I guess the Transformers movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the one with the toy that eats other toys?
I don't know. I didn't actually rewatch.
They're all. It's one big long movie.
Okay, it's
So
all
it's the first one with Mark Wahlberg. If that helps out.
okay. It's the same fucking movie except it has Mark Wahlberg, except for not the Even Stevens guy. All right.
Well, we're not starting yet.
Yeah, I don't.
Wait on that.
I think we're supposed to.
Oh, we're
You're
waiting
supposed
on
to
him.
sit and think.
Well, he is the judge.
I'm
yeah.
not the judge. I'm just running the computer.
Yeah.
I was even
No.
confused on this one. I was like, that.
Sorry, I got confused.
I did too.
I'm ready to go.
So, sit and think about your thoughts and.
No, I have no thoughts. I'm just gonna
He's
talk a
gonna
bunch
give
of
it
crap
all he's got.
about the entire franchise.
Of Transformers.
I'm gonna take a long time.
I'm gonna cut
Wait, so I mean, it is the worst movie to break
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yes.
What choices did you get?
Well, I mean, there were 26 movies that did it, I think.
So
No,
you
there's
put,
like
18.
43.
Oh,
Yeah.
43.
so you put
Yeah.
all those in that?
Yeah.
No.
No, we all kind of looked at the same list, I'm pretty sure.
So
Yeah.
this is the fairest way. I've been toying with this idea for a little while. Of making you all switch answers, and I figured
I
this
like
is
that.
the fairest way to introduce it because I.
Okay.
So for those of you who aren't watching, but maybe in the future, whenever we set up for one of these, the judge releases 6 to 10 questions. The 3 competitors each pick one from that list, and then the judge picks another one for the 4th one, giving 4 total questions. So they typically don't know each other's answers unless there's overlap. So, like in this instance, 2 of you said Alice in Wonderland. Whoever said it first gets to keep it. The other person picks again, but then to keep it fair, the judge says what everyone picked.
Can I use the back of this paper versus what you actually wrote on?
What does it say?
Earnhardt.
Hey, I won with that fucking answer. I won with that one.
So I figured this was the fairest way to introduce this concept because everybody knew what everybody picked, and it's not a question somebody picked. So
All right.
What's the rest of these?
That's the
Swans.
pitch.
That's gonna be next.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace had everyone in the world excited for a new Star Wars movie in more than how long had it been? At least 15 years, right?
What was
Something
it?
of that nature.
98 is when it came out, right?
99, I think.
99.
Maybe
and
2000.
We were
then,
in middle school.
and then Jedi came out in 83.
Yeah, so it had been
16 years.
16 fucking years since a Star Wars movie. Everyone, Star Wars fans included, were hyped through the fucking ceiling to see what George Lucas had in store next. And you know what it was? A steaming pile of hot garbage. Like, they wanted more of this incredible drama that they had come to expect from the Star Wars franchise. But instead, you get what is essentially a children's movie. It was a movie for fucking kids. You had a idiot fucking comedy relief Jar Jar Binks, who may have been the fucking mainstay of the fucking movie, like maybe the best goddamn character, because everyone else's performance was god fucking awful. They even made Liam Neeson look bad on screen, and that's almost impossible to do. And fucking, I dropped my cigarette.
So mad you
Damn
jumped your
it.
sig.
Now throw it away. But
So mad I'll burn this motherfucker down.
It's funny because like nobody else is even drinking.
But yeah, just this snot-nosed, whiny fucking kid who has almost no fucking acting ability, playing the Star Wars fans would know grows up to be fucking Darth Vader, and it's just like goofy pod racing and fucking visiting more of Jar Jar Binks' people, and maybe like I think there's like one lightsaber battle at the end, like pretense by like a little bit of a droid encounter, but like it fucking sucked. There was no drama to it, and the villain Darth Maul, like he had a cool design, but dude never spoke, and you never get any context on the dude. So it's just pretty much the main driving villain, the main antagonist of the story, is a blank fucking slate who gets cut in half at the fucking end. So you never really get more story to the guy.
That was dope, though.
It looked cool, but as far as telling a story and moving it forward, it's just like, oh yeah, henchman number 1. Yeah, you with the spikes on your head. Get on out there. And he dies. That's it. Never see him again in the cinematic series. So, yeah. Worst movie to break $1 billion. Fucking Phantom Menace. It did so bad that none of the other prequel movies made it onto the fucking broke $1 billion list because no one wanted to come back.
I got Transformers: Age of Extinction, a movie I've never watched. I hear it has Mark Wahlberg in it.
You're welcome.
It's Transformers, so I assume it's full of explosions and fart noises. I'm glad that my dollars were not among its billion. I really am. I half asleep watched part of the first Transformers movie, and it just aesthetically is not the Transformers I want, and I just can't be bothered. Shia LaBeouf, Mark Wahlberg, they can throw the frickin' Rock in there for all I care. I won't watch a Transformers movie for what it's... I mean, no, they put John Cena in one. I didn't even watch it. And I keep hearing that one's actually pretty good. But no, this one specifically, Age of Extinction, which is probably, the 4th or 5th fart explosions robot movie. So explosions and fart noises and, dubstep wubs. And then maybe some, reimagined classic rock song throw in the end credits. Yeah, I'm sure it earned its $1 million fucking dollars or $1 billion fucking dollars. Big fucking whoop.
Wait, was this a pitch question? Or-
No,
I know.
This is me not watching the movie saying this is why I can't be fucking bothered with it. It's another Michael Bay big budget action spectacular shit show that can't be bothered to tell a coherent story, but instead throws down the fuck on some big budget action and explosions and robots with 18 gajillion moving pieces, but not really any coherent plot to hold it all together. It can really suck a dick. He hasn't made a good movie since Con Air.
That's not.
It wasn't.
Which one was that?
You're thinking of The Rock. They're
The
very
Rock.
similar,
Yeah.
but-
Sorry. The Rock. He hasn't made a good movie since The Rock, even.
Chris?
I really wish I could argue this one for you, because
Mhm.
I had some gems of takedowns for some
Mhm.
things. But I, unfortunately, due to the process of things, got stuck with Alice in Wonderland, which I guess actually would be the correct answer, seeing as it was the answer that was chosen twice.
Yeah.
So my competitors actually believe this is a worse movie than the movie I actually originally chose. It is by definitely, most definitely the downfall in where, Tim Burton's career just kind of fucking fell off, really. It's a movie that, on concept alone, people were excited and interested in, and then once they saw the execution just in the trailer, people were kind of like, maybe this could work. And then you see it, and you're like, no, this doesn't work at all. Everything about this is atrocious, and it's offensive to the eye. It's just a pain to look at. It's a physically nauseating movie to really watch. And that's why the sequel didn't do well. And that's really why Tim Burton isn't really doing a whole lot of anything now. And I'm fairly certain now he's working back towards the stop animation shit and not really fucking with live action shit. This movie's part of that reason. Charlie and Chocolate Factory are part of the other reason. But, it's just not a good action movie. It's definitely worse than these other two movies.
Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland was a spellbinding dreamscape adventure.
Alright, first off, I don't want to hear anything you... Are you fucking kidding me? Of all the things you're going to say bad about Phantom Menace, the things you chose, Liam Neeson? Are you fucking kidding me, my dude? Liam Neeson rocked the fuck out of that movie.
Oh no! All I'm saying is
Star Wars
the movie-
Episode 1 was a
It's not a
compelling,
bad
dramatic
fucking movie.
space opera.
Oh, they made it a kid's movie. The main character of the movie is a fucking
With an
child, and
interesting,
it's about his
heavy-
childhood. How can you not make it a fucking kid's movie?
With an intriguing, mysterious heavy for a bad guy.
I was saying the movie
Darth
was...
Maul doesn't have any lines. He's not interesting. Somehow the most
Establishes
infamous
the,
fucking...
the relationship between Padme and Anakin.
The most infamous fucking Star Wars character of all time is fucking Boba Fett, who was not a fucking character established at all in the original fucking
And it
movies.
has a well-meaning,
So, Darth Maul...
not
that-
at all
Darth Maul's the
poorly
fucking-
dated.
Oh, so he was a minor placeholder.
Darth
That's
Maul
it.
is the fucking tits, dude.
He's
Darth Maul went on to be one of the fucking coolest characters in Star Wars canon to this day.
Motherfucker got chopped in half and we didn't see him until he was a cartoon.
Yeah, but he
So-
did that sick backflip thing.
I've seen plenty of Jedi do fucking
Do you know
backflip
how
things.
fucking exciting it was to see that fucking trailer and see fucking Darth Maul stand there, and then you see that fucking double-bladed lightsaber fucking...
Wait.
Ooh, I don't even like Star
Maybe-
Wars.
maybe-
and honestly,
maybe if you're
recalling,
11
Wait.
recalling the feeling of
Shout
that gets my
out,
fucking
shout
dick
out to
hard.
Full Motion Yoda.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, you all are telling this from the perspective of children seeing the trailer for this movie. But whenever it fucking came out, the people that were looking forward to it the most were the long-standing Star Wars fans,
And they went and saw it.
and they fucking hated it.
You know the
No,
best
nobody started fucking shit-talking that movie until fucking the entire trilogy it came out.
No,
No,
they had
episode
been
2.
shit-talking it.
Okay,
pretty
so
Yeah,
heavily.
I mean, people didn't like episode 2, but that
Episode
movie
2
didn't
was
like.
when people seriously started.
People
shit
were like,
talking
"Oh,
Star
Jar Jar,
Wars.
whatever," but people didn't unanimously hate that movie until years after
Yeah.
that trilogy.
Yeah, episode 1
I don't
came
think
out.
that's
It was like,
factual.
we
It
can't
is,
deal
though.
with the less of these racial stereotypes because you have what was it, Jar Jar, and then the Asian dudes at the beginning,
Yeah,
and then the Middle Eastern stereotype and the
Yeah,
guy
not
that owns
fucking
Anakin.
great.
Because those
Yeah.
movies are about Anakin. There's nothing
Yeah.
fucked up that they ruined with Anakin's childhood. That's like, oh, this is fucking terrible. It's the shit they do later with his character to make him Vader. That you're like, oh, this is kind of fucking weak sauce.
Yeah.
These movies kind of suck. It's because they took what
they
was
all sucked because of the
character of
first
that
domino that got flicked.
No, that first domino fucking... That's like saying, fucking... Hitler fucking sucked, so, baby Hitler was
Also,
the fucking worst baby ever. No, he was a
midichlorians?
fucking baby.
What the fuck is that shit?
You know what the fuck that shit is.
I know, but it makes no goddamn sense. Are these special cells in your blood that make you move shit and lightning if you want? That makes no fucking sense. The Force...
90 minutes of fart noises and explosions.
It's way longer than
I don't know, that's
90
pretty
minutes.
close to my movie, too.
138 minutes
That might be right.
right.
Most of those are
Of
about like 2.5
Dubstep,
hours
Wub
long.
Wubs, and Mark Wahlberg.
Titties too. Don't forget titties.
Are there
Sweaty
titties?
Yeah.
Sweaty titties?
But PG-13 sweaty titties.
Okay, okay, crop top sweaty titties.
Yeah, that's it.
All right,
You got it.
Alright,
That's
fucking-
every
So Age of
Transformers
Extinction
movie.
is the first in the franchise to really get rid of the whole Sam Witwicky or what's
Yeah, you're right.
okay, get rid of that character and that story, even though it comes back into play later, but not even him, just his fucking family legacy and shit. That's fucking weird. That's the 5th movie. That movie was also that movie wasn't on this list. It's Dark Side of the Moon. That was also $1 billion.
Is it also starring Mark Wahlberg?
No, that one's Shia. I'm pretty sure.
They brought back Shia LaBeouf?
No, Dark Side of the Moon's second one.
Okay.
Third. Okay.
I thought that was like Pink Floyd's album.
I'm sure they reworked the Pink Floyd song
like,
for
You
it.
don't remember the Transformers and
You-
that
you-
Pink Floyd?
Going into seeing Transformers 4, you get everything you're fucking paid for, and you've had 3 movies by that point to know it. Like, so like anybody that paid to see that movie didn't think it was a bad movie, or they wouldn't have
Yeah.
gone to see it. It was the 4th movie in a long line of fucking like blockbusters, and for almost every one of those movies releases, it's been the blockbuster of the summer.
There's
major
nothing
fucking
holding
movies.
it together. It's all the same fucking movie.
Nostalgia and like fucking advancing the relationship between the Autobots and fucking humanity, really.
See, I've
It's
never
like
seen
what
your movie,
establishes.
but Transformers are cool. But honestly,
Yeah,
your fucking movie like was a more accurate and did better justice a representation of Through the Looking Glass. Like it included
Not really.
a full all the way through story.
Well,
Not
yours
really, a
was
little
the
bit, but not
direct vision of its
Have you actually read Through the Looking Glass?
perfect
not in a
creator.
long ass time.
Okay, it's
George
not that
Lucas
accurate.
penned and directed this movie himself.
But your movie is more obviously more
No, my
realistic
movie's
than
a
the
hot
Disney
fucking-
cartoon. But like
A hot load of fucking.
it's
Jack
exciting. I mean, like you have fucking
It's exciting
Johnny
in the
Depp
same
as the
way
Mad
that
Hatter
like fucking.
with his weird
strobe
fucking
lights are
giant
exciting.
eyes, and that was cool. And then you have a fucking fight with what was it? A Jabberwocky? Yeah, fucking sword. She gets this badass sword and fights
Okay,
a dragon
You
monster.
can't tell me her fighting the Jabberwocky is fucking cool, but the fucking Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn and fucking Darth Maul fucking fight is not one of the coolest fucking fights in
Well-
all of Star Wars.
well, yeah, because-
it definitely fucking
Because
is.
sadly
Wait.
enough, there was more.
It definitely
There's
fucking
more
is.
story built
Wait.
around this fucking Jabberwocky than there was this name. This
Which one-
fucking nobody character. That
Which
appeared
one
on
had the
screen.
General Grievous forearms fight?
That was 2.
Third
That was
one.
2?
Or
No,
3.
that was the
The
third one.
Oh, well, fuck that. Yeah. Full motion Yoda.
Yoda.
But no, there's nothing like, as you mentioned fucking earlier, like
Well,
this movie just fucking sells Hot Topic merchandise and is just feeding
Can we-
off that fucking crowd of like, Tim Burton can take any property and throw it at a fucking wall and it'll
Can we also talk about how Star Wars Episode 1 introduced us to the most badass Jedi? Mace Windu,
That is true.
with his pimpin' purple lightsaber.
You didn't even get to see him fight in that fucking movie. He just
So-
sat there.
No, you get to
So
see him
we-
be fucking correct.
You get
though.
he is the rightest.
He's like, don't train this little nigga.
He doesn't have
Don't
to be,
train this little nigga.
He doesn't have to be Mace Windu to be right all the time. He just is. That's just fucking Samuel L. Jackson.
But
as a
no,
person.
that's the
Does
character
Mace
of Mace
Windu look like a bitch to you?
like.
I don't know what planet.
There's no
what
way
planet
you
you from? What ain't no planet I goddamn it have.
4 out of 5 people are gonna fucking pick fucking watching Phantom Menace over Alice in Wonderland.
I don't know where you're gonna find those 4 out of 5 people.
I mean, I'll
There-
watch a
there's-
fan
there's-
edit of Phantom Menace.
There's enough of us in this room right now that like I feel like a majority of us would rather watch Phantom Menace than fucking.
Yeah, but this
If
is
anything,
we're
for the fucking
yeah,
bitch
but
ass
this is a
fucking
debate,
bombers.
not a democracy.
I would watch Phantom Menace all day over any Transformers movie, much less that piece of trash I was issued.
I mean, it's a fucking. It's kind of it's one of the better ones, I would say, in a sense that like it develops.
Yeah, it's like
builds up-
saying
it builds
that's
up
like
this
saying
relationship
this
that,
turd
like-
smells less bad than that turd.
I mean,
though.
but we're all talking about turds, dog.
I mean, mine is literally Mark
And honestly,
Wahlberg
you're-
yelling at sweaty tits while
Mark Wahlberg's not really yelling at the sweaty.
And I've
Well,
actually
he's yelling
watched
at
your
sweaty
movie
tits to get her
more
to
than once
safety.
and enjoyed it.
hey, get to safety, talk to your mom. Like,
Say hi to your mother for
Yeah.
me. I'll say hi
Let's
to
say
your
hi to your ma for you.
Can we talk about how fucking cool the Queen of Hearts was in your movie?
No,
was
she looked fucking stupid.
She
And
looked
that was-
fucking
wait,
insane.
in my opinion, one of the
creepy as
worst
fuck.
fucking uses of that actress. She's like fucking.
This the chick
So-
from Fight Club, right?
Yeah, she's so fucking top
She's
notch.
married to the director.
Oh yeah, she did a
That's
top-notch
such-
performance in that movie.
No, she's so top notch as an actress, and that's such a waste of her. in
and
that
also
fucking role.
her side
There-
chick
there's-
was
there-
like
she's such
well,
a- she's
wasn't
such a
it
great
the dad
physical actor,
from,
But
the dad
yet
from
they
Back
just
to the
take her
Future.
fucking head, and like I don't know how much of the makeup and shit is digitally retouched, but
Wait,
like, some of it's
wait.
retouched to the extent that like a lot of her facial fucking expressions or shit are
You
like.
mean Crispin
lacking.
Glover from A River's Edge?
Yeah, he was in Alice in Wonderland.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, pretty sure. He was like the right hand man
Fact
with like
check.
eye patch. Like I know he was the dad in Back to the Future.
He was.
Yeah.
Which one though?
What do you mean?
He
That-
was.
that
he
role-
was.
that
he
role
was
was
Marty's
recast.
dad.
In what?
Back to the Future.
The first Back to the Future.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
He was also in Charlie's Angels, which was weird, but he was in it.
That movie.
He's been Crispin Glover. He does a little
But
weird
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, I
Alice
mean,
in Wonderland is a fucking hot mess of a fucking movie.
it's a fucking fun thrill ride.
It's
Going into
not,
my
though.
closing right now, like I fucking loved Alice in Wonderland. It was entertaining and visually stunning from beginning to fucking end. Phantom Menace was a travesty that disappointed a generation. Every little bit of that movie was pretty much a slap in the face to anyone that gives a fuck about Star Wars or anything that George Lucas has ever made. It's a fucking kids movie. You might as well have just been watching E.T. the entire time. You'd still get a kid's adventure with aliens. That's about it. Whoop, whoop,
Whoa, 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 whoa. We can make a song out of this.
Get to the car!
Say hi to your mother for me.
Say hi to your ma for me. That's it. That's
I mean, that sums up almost all of the movies. I mean,
So,
I agree.
Alice in Wonderland, just not. It's. This is purely opinion, but I do find that movie nauseating to fucking watch. It's too much hyper saturation and this fucking unparalleled mix of trying to use some actual, like, what's the fucking word for physical shit? Physical shit, yeah, I'll just say that. Some physical, like, actual practical fucking, like, props and shit. But they're also so fucking retouched and, like, drowning in this fucking Tim Burton flair that it swallows any actual good performance from any of the fucking characters. It's by far, like, the worst use of fucking Helena as an actress. It's Johnny Depp's, without a doubt, his worst fucking role. He is possibly one of the most irritating characters of all time in that movie. I would rather watch an entirety movie focused on Jar Jar Binks than an entire movie focused on the Mad Hatter's character of Alice in Wonderland. It's not fucking, there's, Jabberwocky aside, everything else is just this fucking hot, garbled fucking swamp. Not even swamp, but like stew, maybe? It's just a big fucking stew of like Tim Burton fucking drawings. He was like, oh, I want somebody to look like this. Have them in the movie. And like, but there's like not really a story too much to it that isn't already established and building off of everything else you already know from Alice in Wonderland. Phantom Menace is by far, I would say, out of any Star Wars movie a Star Wars fan has an issue with, it's probably the movie that they have the least issue with. Yeah, it's not the best movie. There's things that could have been better, but it's, if you view that as a standalone fucking film about this character's fucking childhood, it's a fine fucking movie. Transformers is, like I said, it's the people that like that are paying for what they want. It's a very you pay, you go to see those movies, you pay, and you expect to see that level of just insane fucking craftsmanship of all these highly fucking thought out action sequences and explosions, and all this shit has to be timed fucking right. Because it's not even like, yeah, the Transformers are CG, but like he has shit where they physically interact with their environment. And I think regardless of if those movies are good or not, the use of that shit is fucking top notch. The way they physically shake things, or they'll step on a car and they'll actually have a car crash, and like, it's fucking top notch. There's just not that level of craftsmanship and detail in this movie. And your movie fucking established like so much outside of that movie as far as other characters, other worlds, and just fucking pod racing, which led to some of the coolest fucking Star Wars video games. Not as cool as like some of the games, but like they're fucking fun fucking games.
Also Mace Windu.
And Mace Windu. And I guess that's my closing.
Alright, I feel like you all did really well with what you were handed, having not actually picked these yourselves.
That was a weird one. I love that.
That was alright.
Jim, you kind of summed it up pretty well. I feel like, though, Chris and his closing was out for goddamn blood. That was some good shit.
I'm upset I didn't get the argue Star Wars. I had so much ammo for like why that's bad.
Where's Kyle?
Like so much.
He
I picked Star Wars. I was ready
Colin,
to argue Star
they
Wars.
dinged you a lot. Darth Maul, iconic villain, whether or not he talked. You know, it is a kids movie, so they could get away with things like Jar Jar and stuff like that. Whether or not it should have been. Chris, you just you tore yours down and you built theirs up in your closing, and for that, I'm going to give you the point.
Can I just say that this broke my heart because I absolutely fucking love Phantom Menace. God damn.
I will say,
God damn.
So wait, Chris got the point?
yeah,
I picked that.
I know you did.
my favorite movie of these three
Mm-hmm.
is Age of Extinction.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
have
couldn't
so
go
much
too.
shit to say about that.
I couldn't go too hard on it because I'd never seen it
Yeah.
ever. Like I tapped out like I said, like halfway through the first one. It's like, oh, this just isn't for me. So I never
You
watched
could have just
it.
come up with something with a toaster eating a lady's hand and then it starts a war, and that would have been it.
You had the fucking sweaty tit shots. You had the explosions. You got to bring in the fucking product placement. Michael Bay movies are like so
The
much
cars,
product
the
placement.
cars.
I really
Do you
like
like McDonald's?
Well, that movie for
Like
that year, that
Coca-Cola?
movie won, had the most product placement of any movie in 2015 or 2014, with like 55 various different like brands prominently on screen. Another issue I have with that fucking movie is that way too much of the fucking plot of that fucking movie. I'm just upset I didn't get the fucking picture.
Oh, hold on, let me go hard on Star Wars here in a minute.
This fucking movie did not get to like it focused way too much of the dialogue and plot on Mark Wahlberg being like, "Hey, you can't fuck my underage daughter," and the other protagonist of the movie having a laminated fucking card in his wallet because he's that kind of creeper. He has a laminated card with the fucking statute of limitation, or not statute of limitations, the fucking age of consent and fucking those statutes laminated on his fucking wallet. Like, and that's the guy you're supposed to be rooting for. Like, what the fuck, Michael Bay? Like, it's such a fucking weird.
That's
fucking
a subtle, creepy thing.
Yeah, it is. Like,
it was again the sweaty boobs in Michael Bay movies like that. It's like him. She's supposed to be underage, but yet he's sexualizing
the camera
her in
is
the
like
entire
lingering
movie.
on her the entire. There's also this weird fucking scene Alright, so
Wait,
they're
you're
in
telling me?
ultimate.
Wait, you're telling me the sweaty boobs in this movie was underage?
No, she was of age, but they were portraying her as an underage.
Underage
girl.
sweaty boobs?
Yes.
Underage sweaty.
So it's okay.
No.
It's not.
But that's
Alright,
that's
there-
his.
There's
that's
also
his
that
thought
scene.
process.
Right, so
You
they're
could have
like,
you could have
in
Betty
Optimus,
White playing a
and then it,
10-year-old,
like,
and if you
flips over or
sexualize
whatever,
that 10-year-old,
and-
fuck you.
the Irish
Right.
dude and
That's why
fucking
it's
Mark
terrible.
Wahlberg
Yeah.
somehow managed to jump out of Optimus as it's like flipping over or whatever, and then she's stuck in it. But like, dudes in like driver's seat, dudes in like the passenger seat, they both jump out of the same door. So he had to jump out of the passenger seat over top of his daughter to get out of this fucking car. Like, to get out of this fucking like,
I might be.
and then be like,
remembering
no, we
this
gotta save my
wrong.
daughter. Like, nigga, you
but-
left her.
I don't feel like she's that sexualized in that one.
I mean, she's not. It's just the weirdness of like too much of the plot and dialogue is focused on their bickering of you can't date my underage daughter. Oh,
Right.
yes, I can. And this is why I carry it in my wallet.
The reason that
Also,
We
why do
did-
the bad
we-
guys have commercials for their bad evil plan?
we did
That was weird.
Chris, you won, right? Because
Yeah.
you did. And I'm just
But
gonna
have you
say
seen that movie?
no.
They
this-
have,
this-
they have
this is-
in the,
this
their
is-
headquarters.
this
They
is-
have like these commercials playing. That's like for their evil robots that they're building.
I'm,
Why are you
I'm
airing
trying
commercials?
to agree with you right now.
I'm
This
just
is
talking about
this is
fucking
the reason that I
Transformers.
think you won that because like I will still watch the Phantom Menace occasionally.
Yeah.
For the pod racing scene.
Yeah.
I will still
and
watch
the lightsabers and
any
Liam
of the
Neeson.
Transformers movies just because they're Transformers movies.
Except the
But I
first one.
tried to watch that fucking Tim Burton shit, and that fucking breaks my heart, and I can't even get
It's a
to it.
headache to
I
watch.
love Tim
Yeah.
Burton. But
Anything
the
after
Disney ones,
and you know-
I couldn't even.
anything
like,
after Big Fish, I'm like, nah.
I love
No.
Big,
You
Big
know-
Fish is great.
Yeah, anything after that though.
Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
agree.
to know if this
I
was a
agree.
regular question, I would have won.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
Phantom Menace was horribly written, horribly directed,
Was
horribly
So-
acted.
I'd still watch it over the fucking
Can I go first?
Alice in Wonderland.
Huh?
Or any
Okay.
Transformers
Yeah.
movie.
Give it a cook.
All right, I guess
So,
we can get back on track.
There was
Sorry.
not enough Keanu Reeves in that question for me.
Oh, fucking Christ.
He's never been
Are we
in a
pitching a
Disney
Keanu
movie,
Reeves
has
movie?
he?
Yeah. This,
Fuck yes.
This is the role Keanu's playing.
Oh fuck yes.
Okay.
Do I have a thing for this?
This is. No, you can just leave it on school.
Yeah, I'll
or
just leave it
main
on
ticker.
school.
This is your director.
This is gonna get weird.
I hope I know who this director is.
Okay.
I can tell if this is one or two.
All right.
Are all these directors?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that I've seen anything except for maybe one movie. I don't know if he directed that or not.
This is the genre, subgenre, whatever of the movie. Oh, this has to be an action movie too.
So it's gonna be an action subgenre.
It's gonna be action with
What?
this
Whatever the hell else you guys
Oh,
got. I guess.
excellent.
and process of elimination. Chris, you can draw from this one first. This is your co-star.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll give you all some time to think this over.
How much time can I pee?
Yeah, just don't fuck everything up.
try.
I'm unfamiliar with any movie my director's directed.
Let me see.
No, can I Google a movie just so I have a
Yeah, that's
sense
fine.
of like style? Can we pull that up?
What director did you get? Just curious. I won't.
Who's gonna tell?
I'm not gonna tell.
Who's gonna tell?
I don't know anything that he's directed except for maybe one movie that was like an indie movie that I know he starred in.
That's honestly your director.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if he actually directed that movie.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Given the movie I'm thinking of wouldn't fit within like my genre.
All right. I think I got my
Be
pitch.
interesting.
Oh,
Maybe.
I'm
I'm
ready.
working on it.
I'm so ready.
Alright.
I already have yours like in my head.
You want me to go ahead?
No, we'll wait on Corey to get back. That'll be our timer.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with any of these movies. I can't even begin to guess his directing style. Well, that's a short, so that's why I've never heard of that. That's a 6-minute short as well. That's a 7-minute short. That's a documentary. Which might be the angle I go with. That's a drama romance movie. So what angle do I go? Drama romance or a 7-minute short? Or a documentary?
Well, Jim?
Okay. All right. So it's got to be an action movie at heart, right?
At heart, yes.
So this is a high action movie, but here's a basic rundown of the plot. Keanu Reeves plays a beautician, moves to New York, and he's he got a residency at like a salon there or something. And there is one regular who is really nice to him, shows him around town, and all of a sudden she stops showing up and ends up getting strangled. It's a strangler on the loose, and she falls victim to him. So he gets really caught up in this and turns to Terry Crews, who is a private investigator, and gets caught up with Terry Crews on some side shit while they're looking into who the strangler is. So he moved to the big city. He's a fish out of water. And turns out, after all this pretty much wild goose chase of just high action nonsense and kind of an action comedy thing, for a good third of the movie they go through, Terry Crews is actually the strangler. The movie is called Breathtaking. It's a movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
All right.
What's the twist?
Terry Crews was the strangler. We'll figure it out.
No, that's a different movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready, Chris, or I can go?
You can go.
Okay. So, this summer, directed by James Cameron, we see a young child, a baby in a basket rolling down a river. Picked up by a very finely dressed Egyptian woman in ancient Egypt. Who grew up with royalty alongside his brother Xerxes II. The child Moses, played by Keanu Reeves, will find over time, as growing up as royalty, will find the truth about his Jewish heritage, for his parents were Jewish slaves. But as an Egyptian slave. But one day he knows he is the Messiah whenever he sees and hears the Spirit of God, voiced by Bill Murray. And he says, "You must take your people on a road trip to Egypt and part the Red Sea."
I would watch this. I'm sorry. I
And at the end, he has a great confrontation with his brother Xerxes, and there's explosions and shit. I'm out of breath. This summer, the live-action Prince of Egypt.
Michael Bay parting the sea. I can't even imagine what that scene would look like.
Chris?
All the whales inside are exploding.
For no reason.
Wait, who did I say?
James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd still watch either. It's fine.
Did you get Alex Winter?
As a director?
Yeah.
No, I got Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Oh, okay.
who's directed a documentary, 3 shorts, and a romantic drama.
You have to make this
Which is a weird genre to try to mash up action and also heist. But I wish this was a lowercase g, but it's a capital G, so it's like Keanu Reeves is God. Essentially, I was going to spin it with he's a god, not like capital G God, but I don't fucking know. I'll make it up. So I don't have anything planned for this at all. So Keanu Reeves is God, and he is, you know. Can I have one? Okay. He quite like God do. Actually, it's not a romantic drama. Take that back. It's just a heist action with some comedic elements. Essentially, the movie is God is talking to one of his angels, played by Alyssa Milano. Because of all things God likes to do, he really enjoys Las Vegas. It's his favorite thing of all of creation. He's just obsessed with Vegas elements. He likes movies about casinos. He likes watching casinos. He likes the element of chance and people and luck and all of that. It's just God's thing. And he never gets to fully experiment with like how great it is because he's God. So if he were to walk into a casino and try to win, he's gonna win. He's God. It's impossible. So he's discussing this dilemma with one of his angels, played by Alyssa Milano, and through conversation, he's like, it would be easier for me to rob a casino than it would be to lose at a casino. And we both know that I can rob a casino easy as fuck. I'm God. I can stop time. I can erase everybody's. I can do whatever. And she's like, or you could make a casino that you couldn't rob. Therein is the challenge. The movie is a lot of like back and forth, trial and error of just really actiony, like slapstick, like kind of. It's almost one of those movies that like none of the movie actually exists, but it does exist. It keeps like having like these cutaway gags of it's like them discussing the theoretical plans for this casino and all the like security detail and all this, and then it kind of cuts away to that situation, like kind of like the Ocean's 11 fucking little here's the plan guys thing, because like I said, he's really into that whole like fucking thing. So that's how the movie's kind of like framed, is a bunch of that, and it's just God trying to fail at robbing a casino, played by Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
It's called There's somewhere there's a play with like some God shit in Sin City and like something, but it's not coming to me at the second. So
Can you just call it goddamn?
well, that's what I was thinking, or like Me Damn It or something, but it's like an action movie.
Me
so
damn
I was
it.
trying to.
Damn it.
Okay. Huh.
God's luck.
It's not bad.
So, these were all good. I like the twist of Terry Crews. It is M. Night. You gotta have that. You gotta have that twist.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you threw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Crews is also beloved
Mm-hmm. Be a
comedian, actor.
Be a good branch out if he starts nutting out at the end of this, goes real serious, and tries to strangle Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and also Keanu. He's an established action star. You need somebody a little imposing to go against. Terry Crews is definitely that.
Mm-hmm.
That was solid casting. God damn it, me damn it, whatever. That was the hardest one. I'm certain.
I wish you
And-
would have given me a god and not like capital G god. Because initially I was gonna go with Keanu Reeves playing Odysseus. And it was gonna be like a romantic action movie of him trying to rescue Eurydice, but I was like, no, it's capital G god. I gotta go with like Judeo-Christian, like fucking G-O-D.
Yeah, JGL hasn't done a lot as far as directing. There were a few in there like that. These two just got lucky. James Cameron directing a live-action Prince of Egypt as a road trip action movie. Fucking that road trip shit killed me.
Killed me too. It's when I got Road Trip, I was like,
Flight of Egypt.
yeah.
Oh
Oh.
man, God, these were all good. Do you have anything to say, Corey?
I don't have any facts because there aren't any.
Right.
Other than these people were directors.
Are you sure?
I don't
Once
know.
I drew God out, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. And then there was a God heist.
Can you look up if God's real?
I can try. I've looked that up for
Sarah,
for
do you have
long
anything
before.
to contribute in a decision? No, none of you. Okay.
It's like okay, which one would you watch the most? We have.
Which one would you watch the most?
I'm gonna lean towards Collins honestly because it just sounds hilarious. Like,
I mean, Keanu Reeves, action barber.
I mean,
Imagine
yeah,
the things
they
he
all
will do
sound
with
good.
scissors.
I'm gonna give it to Chris.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. On difficulty alone.
Yeah.
I agree.
You
I
had to
like,
pull
I
some
like
shit
that
together.
too.
You made a cohesive story out of nothing. And the way you did like the him failing and stuff, that's like the best segments of things that like comedies that I like to watch, comedy of errors, where like it's done in like a supernatural fantasy way where they get to hit a reset button. It's just like I've been at this for centuries now and fucking still haven't pulled it off. Comedy of errors and exciting
It's
new ways.
Weird that to him to pull it off is to fail at it.
Like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I guess.
Yeah, like my movie, like
sounds
it was already
hilarious.
made when it was in my hands. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I got Egyptian Slave, I was like,
Mine fell together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
See, now I'm kind of glad I didn't, I guess, go with the Odysseus thing, which I feel like would have been like easier. As I was talking, I was like, oh, halfway through, I was like, I should have said Odysseus shit because like that's actually
So,
all three of these were great.
They were.
Well,
No
when you-
bonus points for my
when
title.
You showed me yours. I was
You
thinking,
did
like,
get bonus points.
It was
But
like,
not like the
I was
actual
thinking-
points that
I was
exist.
thinking
No, I was
Keanu Reeves'
kidding.
God wouldn't be God.
I mean, I loved all three of these.
And
This
the
is
God
probably,
died in the sky, and it would
as
be
far
like
as
a
just
hyper
pitches go, the best one we've had.
technological-
I
It
think
was
so.
really hard,
He and
Um,
Lana work in tandem.
That's what she said.
but
Heist and shit.
so tiebreaker.
It's a tiebreaker between Colin and Jim. Your name. You've been
No.
telling me for months now that your name is Luke and now you're Jim.
no, that's his internet alias.
Camera means some gem.
Way to
Sorry,
go, Corey.
Jim. Huh?
Way to go, Corey.
You broke the veil.
I know.
Wait, what is the score currently?
If it wasn't live, I'd
It's
go
not.
back.
You
One
two
to
are-
1 to 3.
Yeah.
One
so
to 1 to
you're-
3.
You guys are doing a
All right, tie break.
Tiebreaker.
Break that.
Is
tie.
tie break a speed round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will somebody do a timer?
Yeah, I'll attempt. I will.
Attempts will be made.
I'll hold my breath and then.
As soon as he passes out, it's time.
Shut up, everybody. I hate all you people. So it's 30 seconds, 15, 30 again.
No.
30, 30,
30,
15.
15, 15.
30, 30, 15.
Wait, it's 30, 30. Right. But
30,
then,
30,
I mean, first
15,
round is
15.
30 for
Yeah.
each, and then 15, and then 30 again.
No.
No, and then
No.
just 15 again.
It's just the 30
How-
and the 15.
Motherfucker, you've been
That-
here for like all of these.
I thought you did it longer than that.
30,
All right.
15,
I'm not
15,
involved in
that's
it.
it.
If that helps.
Hmm?
It's just like a regular speedrun question.
It doesn't count for a point. It's just who
Right.
faces Chris in the final.
Yep.
So it's 30 seconds when whoever. Well, you.
Yeah, first round's 30 seconds, second round's 15
And then when you
seconds.
start talking, I can do this.
Yeah.
I got this. I
Give
got
me
this.
some of your wine. Shit.
You can have some.
I might get some in a minute. I got
All right.
Stay the fuck away from my wine.
Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
No.
What's the question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, I'm asking. What is the best cameo in film?
Ooh, I got one.
Does it have
Stan Lee and Mallrats.
Fucking Christ.
Oh.
I was gonna say, does it count what movie it is? Because it's in everything.
You have to go first. Call on. Pick your cameo.
Fucking
Oh my
Christ.
god.
Maybe. Never shot or
Give me a second. Like, my answer was there on my tongue, and then you ripped it out. Google something.
Hold up, wait.
Best cameo in a movie. Where are your crickets at for effect?
They're upstairs.
Yeah.
There's one that might be
boy.
downstairs
We
right
might-
now. I
we
don't
might
know.
need those.
I let that one go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're awful.
Well, I couldn't just leave them up there in
Crickets
their
chirping.
farm of like being eaten by the monster. Like, I had to let one go at least.
Okay, fuck it.
Did you let a cricket loose in the house?
I
Did
said
you
it.
let a cricket
He
loose?
fucking
in the house?
dropped it.
Are you actually serious?
Yeah, fuck you, Corey.
I said it free.
In a house with cats.
They will eat it too. It's good protein.
Probably not.
So the scorpion can't eat it, but the cats can.
I didn't mean to, but no, I didn't actually mean to. I'm
You
trying
know
to
he didn't mean to. He's bad at everything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Bugs Bunny in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Who?
Mm.
All right. Well,
All
you have to
right.
go first, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the most unexpected scene ever because up until this point, all we had been seeing is made up cartoon characters throughout the course of fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And then you see this falling scene with Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny doing this bit with the main character, Valiant. And it's fucking hilarious. Old school fucking Looney Tunes antics out of nowhere. And you're like, holy fuck, how did this collaboration happen? How the hell were you able to get the licensing for these two staple
Stop.
characters?
I think Jason Lee said it best when he stated, "Holy shit, it's Stan Lee." This was the first and probably for the longest time one of the most iconic Stan Lee cameos. Which I mean, now there are many, but this was quite a rare thing in the '90s. And he just shows up to drop the knowledge soliloquy on was it Brody in the movie? Anywho, and it was a really thoughtful speech.
Stop.
15 now.
Honestly, it seems like that cameo with Stan Lee is the least memorable, especially with the oversaturation of his cameos in almost every single fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Mine had a collaboration that you wouldn't see on a cold day in hell nowadays. You would never see.
Stop. That was 15 seconds.
I know.
I'm sorry.
He has more lines in Mallrats than I think he has in any Marvel movie. And also, he just is a central point in the movie. He's the guy who drops the knowledge bomb to the main character. And it's one of Kevin Smith's best written dialogues.
Stop. That was a good ending point, though. Actually.
Yeah.
Like, you actually finished the
You got to
sentence.
finish a sentence.
Like,
Good for
sometimes
you.
it's like you can't even finish a word.
I guess I'll go here in
You're like,
sentences.
it was one of the most...
No, I'm gonna give it to Jim because he did say it was a central point of the movie. It was some of Kevin Smith's best written dialogue. And unfortunately, there is one MCU movie Stan Lee did not cameo in, and that's Far From Home, because he's dead.
Fuck.
The only thing I can think of for that
So it's
one
gonna
was
be
Mr.
Jim.
Clean and Food Fight. That was it.
My answer would have been Bill Murray in.
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
even going to say
Oh.
Zombieland.
Oh,
But yeah, that's a way better.
It's gonna be
Bill Murray in Space
it's gonna be
Jam.
Jim and Chris now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I thought of one.
Yeah, I totally meant Zombieland. Yeah.
Oh. I can't remember it now. Okay, so 30 seconds, whenever. Nobody gets a point.
Nobody gets a point, but Colin's out. I'm just
Later, Colin.
sorry.
I'm still gonna sit here.
Okay.
Well, I tried to put like a sad face on it. It didn't work out that way. It's fine.
Give you a sad face.
All right.
Look
So
at this.
30 seconds, whenever I guess.
Yep. What is the worst sex scene?
Ooh.
Team America World Police.
MacGruber? What, he's in the graveyard with his ghost of an ex-wife? Or ghost of your wife? Or
No,
fiance?
don't explain it. Yeah, but if MacGruber's your pick.
Yeah.
30 seconds when you begin speaking.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst sex scene because, like, he's not fucking, he's just humping air. It's fucking weird. It's hilarious, but, like, it's not actual sex. There's definitely, like, better sex scenes of Ghost in other movies. I don't know if there's a sex scene with Ghost and Ghost, but there should be. But, like, yeah, MacGruber is just, he's there's nothing there, so, like, he's just fucking full of dick just flapping. That's not sex. Therefore, it's the worst sex scene.
Stop. Good. Good.
Jim?
Good end to that.
So the sex scene in Team America World Police is just the equivalent of what you do when you're like 12 years old and you're like making your He-Mans hump each other because that's what you have and you're going and it's pretty much the entirety of that sex scene. It's intentionally bad, but it is probably even intentionally so amongst the worst sex scenes in all of cinema. It's the background music with the intentional South Parking of that.
Stop.
At least in Team America, it's an actual romance between two actual characters that are there, whereas this guy is like fucking the memory of his wife on her grave. It's ultimately funny, but when you think about it, it's just sad.
Stop.
Whatever characters are in Team America World Police are paper thin, and it's literally two plastic dolls bumping into each other, and that's the fucking scene. Pun intended. It's really bad, and it's...
Stop. They're wooden. They're not plastic.
fact check.
They look like.
That was hard.
I would have said Showgirls.
Ooh, yeah.
See, I was trying to think of one, and then you said Team America, so I was like, fuck, what can I say that's like remotely close to that to like rival it? And like the first funny sex scene I could think of was like.
There's some weird sex scenes in Zombievers, and I really like that movie actually.
Jim, I feel like you made that fatal mistake where you didn't tear down the other one at all.
No. I didn't see it. I mean, I've never saw MacGruber, so I wouldn't be able to speak on that really.
That's why you got
It's
fake it.
just everything I said, it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one to Chris. I'm gonna preface this with saying lightsabers don't count.
Okay.
What is the best sword fight?
Hang on.
Lightsabers.
What are we up to now? Did I lose count? Chris got another.
Okay, sorry.
Gotta be better.
That's right. Chris got another point.
Yeah.
All right. So we're still 1-4.
Question for both of them though.
I can't think of the name of the
Does it
movie.
have to be live action?
It just has to be swords, not lightsabers.
Dude,
This is a weird question.
Both have to be swords?
Yes.
So it can't be just one dude fighting a dude with a sword and other guys with
There has to
axes.
be at least 2 swords.
the
in
climactic
fight.
fight in
Like, I'm
the
just
first
saying,
Highlander
if
movie.
I have a sword and you have an axe,
If
and we're
there are-
fighting, I'm still sword fighting.
If there's a dude with a sword and a dude with an axe, I'll count it against a dude with a sword.
So dual
But-
melees.
So
But there has to be at least one sword, but both must be melee.
the tip's got to touch.
I've never.
Oof.
Damn, it's a hard one because I can't think of anything that I've
That's
seen
what she
recently of,
said.
like swords that were sword on sword, with the exception of like I can't say it out loud because I didn't rewatch it with you, but there's a movie that has awesome sword fights, and I can bullshit my way through it, but like I don't remember any particular fight. So like,
I'm gonna say the last fight in Highlander.
okay,
Is that your choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but I don't remember that fight well enough to like argue it. The fight between, I believe his name is Jim and Long John Silver, played by fucking Tim Curry and Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay.
Actually, can I slightly change it? Same movie, different fight, sword fight. I believe they lead up to each other, but like
Okay.
Kermit and Long John Silver and Muppet Treasure Island.
All right. Well,
The Bride versus the Crazy 88.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
God damn.
Anyway, Chris is going first, so whenever he's ready, you have 30 seconds for
I was gonna
this
go with
sword
that
fight.
fight and sword of the stranger that I showed you all.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
At that point, you think like all hope is lost, and Long John Silver is just going to like just fucking pull a mutiny, and he's in charge. And then like, oh, here comes Kermit. I forget what happens to him, but he's been missing in the movie for a minute, and he kind of comes to Jim's rescue, and he's besting the shit out of like Long John Silver, and there's just that whole like, he's just giving it to him, and then sword slips out of his hand because he's got slippery hands because he's an amphibian, and it's like the goofiest
Stop.
fucking gimmick.
I really want some Long John Silvers right now. Oh my god. I love their chicken, which is hilarious. I've always loved Long John Silver's fucking chicken. Anyway.
Is it the battering?
Hmm?
Is it the battering?
Oh, yeah.
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 Sure, the batter. Sorry, I spaced on what my movie was for a second.
You said battering though, and it made me think bangerang, and I should have gone with hook.
Oh yeah, Highlander. The final fight. I mean, so you get the Highlander music, you get so it was like Queen playing in the background, and it's raining, and the dude with the weird mohawk, and the French Canadian dude that wasn't really good at anything else ever, are clanging swords, and there's sparks flying everywhere, and it's raining, and it's freaking awesome, and it's super high testosterone, and it's fun, and it's the last time that
Stop.
movie series.
Change it. Sorry, I will. It's on the score. I think they're just.
Fuck, I should have gone with fucking Peter
You drink.
Rufio. That shit's fucking badass.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
So Kermit and fucking Long John Silver dude, they're going at it, and it's just fucking great. And you think Kermit's gonna be the hero because it's a Muppet movie, but it slips out of his hands, setting up Jim, the actual true hero of
Stop.
the movie.
That was actually literally on 15 seconds. You didn't even get me like point after that. Yeah. That's the most exact that I've ever been.
Nice.
15 seconds. I'm sorry. It's tough. Johnny?
Connor McLeod chops a motherfucker's head off and then gets blasted with lightning at the end of it. That is the dopest shit that could ever happen in a movie forever. Literally, you see the head rolling down the street. It is
Stop.
great.
He got 0.18 seconds. Do you,
Well,
want,
I should get an extra 1
do
point.
you want what? Like what?
He's
Seconds?
gonna use it to say the N word. Don't do it.
That'd be like if you said, tried to say Long John Silver's, you were like, "Lo-" that'd be it. Like,
I think that was Tim Curry's character in that movie, though.
alright.
Yes.
I feel like awarding this point might just be from the pick alone, and I'm sorry. But I gotta give it to Highlander.
It's cool. Highlander was the first thing I thought of. I just not familiar enough with like the fighting in that movie.
It's been a while since I've seen Highlander. I just always remember that final fight being badass.
It is badass.
I watched the show more
I
than
mean,
the
it
movies
ends
as a
in
kid.
decapitation as opposed to like a sword slipping out of somebody's hand.
Yeah.
That's
That's why I saved that for my 15-second argument.
But it's such a
Even
great
even
game.
the sword fight between Ober
Scoop.
Ishii and,
Sorry, my hands are slippery.
yeah.
and the Bride, that was a great one too, actually.
Yeah. That whole RNA sequence is great.
Yeah.
You guys done
That whole
fucked up.
movie's great.
Yeah, I told you I should have picked Rufio.
No, I stand by my choice. I mean, Crazy 88 fight's really good, but it doesn't cut away to different colors for decapitation on mine.
So it's 2-4.
Yep.
I'm making it, guys. I'm doing it.
A lot of the sword fight sequences I can think of also are like sword on staff or
Is it
like
dying?
other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we have to do? Do this? Like, how long does it have until it dies?
It's got enough.
Okay.
So, what is the scene that will drop your jaw the lowest?
The final scene of a Serbian film? Or not the final scene, but like when he takes the, I guess, bag off of.
The baby?
No.
No. I know what scene he's talking about.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Which scene from Happiness should I go with? Oh yeah, the kid puking at the dinner table in Happiness.
Alright, 30 seconds when you begin speaking, Jim.
All right. Well, so a lot of things are implied to what happened the night before the kid pukes at the dinner table. Happiness is very dark comedy that involves child molestation, and that's what caused the kid to be ill. And I was pretty shocked that a movie would actually go to showing that, or not showing that, but like making that a plot point for a character. And
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Like,
Yeah.
I've always seen happiness, and like the picture on the front looks like it's really happy.
It's
I
not
kind
a
of
happy
know what
movie.
it's about. And
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Chris. Whenever you're ready.
My movie's not really, or my scene, I guess, isn't really about child molestation, but it is a guy realizing he's having sexual intercourse with his child son. It's very uncomfortable. He's trying to power through a situation to get through it, to pretty much deal with rescuing his wife and his son, only to look over and realize the guy beside him is raping his wife, for the guy to pull the bag off of his own son's head and realize he is, in fact, actively raping his son.
Just please. Like, we have 30 more seconds of this between both of them. Like, oh my god. Jim, I'm ready when you are. It's a rough one, guys. This got dark fast. If you even make a noise, Jim, I'm going to start timing you.
Yeah, so when the kid pukes on the table, it just like starts the whole sequence of events that gets the one character busted. So I guess there is kind of a happy ending in that. Or does he get busted? I don't think so. Wait, no, it ends with this kid coming on a fucking hotel balcony, and then him running to tell his dad about
Stop. I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. I am ready. I don't know if I'm mentally ready.
it. I'm not prepared.
I'm not really sure what your scene consists of, other than a kid puking. You mentioned other scenes earlier
Well,
in the movie,
the
but like, I don't
context of
understand.
it.
But like with my movie, it's just this whole like, contextually or out of context, it's a kid getting fucked by his dad.
Done. Like, just, I mean, that's 15 seconds.
Yeah. I gotta give that one to Chris. I feel
have
like
Oh my god.
I feel like
That's
that.
so filthy taking that
I need a shower.
So yeah, Chris wins the day.
God damn it.
Let's all go shower. Not together.
Please together.
Not with children.
No.
No children were harmed in the
There's
making of
been a
this
fucking
video.
theme.
We don't condone anything on this channel.
Well, actually, two themes
About
against
that.
Keanu Reeves and
No, we don't
child
condone
molestation.
anything on this
Yeah.
channel, period.
We've talked about a lot of child molesting movies today, haven't
Can we
guys?
turn this off now?
Yeah, you're the one with
yeah.
How do you
Hit that-
stop
hit-
streaming?
Bye!
Yeah,
Later.
thanks for watching.
Protect your children.
How do you actually stop it?